Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio. Your home for PAFL football is the Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Your home for PAFL football. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Hey guys, let's talk eat.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio. Your Network. Western Reserve Radio. Western Reserve View Sportscast. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
And we welcome you to North Jackson, Ohio, here as Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One Network, and now available on the iMedia One Network app, is proud to bring to you Cleveland Cobras football here in Week 6 as the Cleveland Cobras, they make the trip from Cuyahoga County down here to our neck of the woods in Mahoney County as we get ready for the Cobras and the Youngstown Patricians here in Week 6 action. Hello, everyone. Jim Craven with you along with the coach, Bob Gessler. Matt Craven here pushing all the buttons, keeping us on the air as well as we get ready for Week 6 action. The Cobras coming off of their first PAFL win just a couple weeks ago, just before the 4th of July holiday. They get the 27-26 win over the Mid-Ohio Patriots, and now they're looking to make it 2 in a row here as they get to take on the first year at Youngstown Patricians. And, Coach, for the Cobras, we saw a lot of improvements last game. Offensively, we're able to move the ball on the ground, through the air, and defensively played lights out.
Yeah, they actually looked so much better. That's really the first game that they've played all year where both offense and defense looked really good. So I'll tell you what, now it's time to turn it up. Hopefully they're hitting their strides, and that's what you want right at the end of the season, right before the playoffs. Build up that win column, and they'll be fine. So Adam's done a great job, and I'm sure that he's done some changes in his offense as well as defensive schemes.
Yeah, one of the things we did see last week, some stability at the quarterback position. Dave Slap Thompson going all 4 quarters last week. And really, you saw the difference in the fluidity of the offense. They moved around well. Thompson making the adjustments on the fly, like having an extra coach on the field, and that made a difference for the Cobras.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, that makes such a difference. Again, these guys are so used to Slap as the quarterback, so sometimes they're maybe the new guys that came in, they're off a
Your
little
home
bit.
for PAFL football
and they just
is
didn't
the
feel like they
Network,
grasped the
Western
offense,
Reserve Radio,
they're off a
Western
little bit.
Reserve
Slap
Radio
gets
2,
in there,
and
it runs
City
a
View
lot smoother.
Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Just about 22 minutes here before kickoff. We're going to step aside for a break when we come back.
Your home for PAFL football is the
head coach Adam Rogers
Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown,
here
Ohio.
On Western Reserve Radio, available on the iMedia One Network app. We're back right after this.
During the
Your
fall
home for
and winter,
PAFL
grilling
football
season never
is the
ends, and Gessler Propane is your local
Western
supplier
Reserve
to
Radio,
make sure
Western
you get
Reserve
your
Radio
hard-earned
2,
money for
and
it.
City
Why
View
go to gas
Sportscast,
exchanges to pay
Youngstown,
higher
Ohio.
prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100%
Your home for
filled tanks at a
PAFL
reasonable
football
cost.
is
See
the
Bob
iMedia
Monday
One
through Friday,
Network,
10 to
Western
4,
Reserve
and
Radio,
Saturday 9 to
Western
3
Reserve
at
Radio
Gessler
2,
Propane,
and City View
702
Sportscast,
Youngstown
Youngstown,
Road,
Ohio.
Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Replacement and all other auto glass. We offer a full range of automotive glass repairs. Our technicians.
Your home for
everything from
PAFL
minor chip
football
repairs
is
to
the
a complete
iMedia One
replacement.
Network,
Windows
Western
don't go
Reserve
up or
Radio,
down,
Western
they can
Reserve
fix
Radio
that
2,
too,
and
along
City
with
View
custom
Sportscast,
glasswork
Youngstown,
and
Ohio.
antiques. Repair That Glass is a family-run business for over 40 years. Repair That Glass. Call for your appointment
Your home for
now at
PAFL football is the iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Daily specials include the Polish platter, the Hungarian platter, stuffed cabbage, and haluski. Having a last-minute get-together? Lena's has
Your
you
home for
covered with a wide
PAFL
variety of
football
frozen
is
take-home
the
pierogies
iMedia
and
One
dumplings.
Network,
Go to
Western
Facebook,
Reserve
Lena's
Radio,
Pierogi House,
Western
see the
Reserve
full
Radio
lineup
2,
of
and
available
City View
flavors for dine-in
Sportscast,
or carry-out.
Youngstown, Ohio.
Catch the best at Lena's Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. The station that sets the tone for Youngstown Phantoms hockey is Western Reserve Radio. WRDB. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio.
To begin week 6.
Should be a good matchup this week. You know, both teams are hungry. We played a variation of this last year, so I'm excited to see what they've put together this season. You know, I know they were the Federals last year, but this Patricians team looks to be tough.
When you look at your season, I know it hasn't gone the way you hope, but you come off a tight win over Mid-Ohio in your last game, 27-26. How do you feel the team is playing right now?
Well, I mean, the Cobras are notorious for starting fast. And, you know, this year we didn't start quite as fast as we normally are. Notorious for starting fast. And, you know, this year we didn't start quite as fast. And so I think we're heating up at the right time.
And you look at this matchup on paper, and it's really interesting because you've got two offenses that have struggled for the most part this year, and two defenses that have played very well. You know, on paper, you would say this would be a low-scoring game. What do you think?
I think this game hold their offense, watch the film. I think we have a pretty good grasp on what they're going to try and do. And as far as our offense goes, I think we're coming together at the right time. I think this game could be in our favor if this same Cobras team who showed up last week to play shows up this week.
What was the difference in that team that showed up last week compared to maybe the team in weeks past?
We weren't playing scared. We weren't playing timid. We almost, we had our backs against the wall, and we came out swinging rather than overthinking a game plan or trying to force things. We just put our foot in the ground and went.
And when you look at this game against the Patricians, you come in with the same record in Tier 2. Coach, is these last couple of games for your squad, I don't want to say they're must-win, but you need to win some games if you want to play in the postseason this year?
Yeah, absolutely. We look at these games as must-win games. Every time we go out on the field, that's what we're trying to do. And in the beginning of the season, though, the games that we lost, but they were close. We were losing in the last seconds of this game. They were heartbreakers. So going into this postseason is going to be, I think we learned a lot about each other. Like you said, there's a lot of stuff on paper that looks good, but it took us a while to take what was on the paper and figure it out. Everything's all good when there's no pressure and there's not an opposing team. It just took us a little bit of a slow start. But as far as going into the playoffs, I think we got to win these games, and I think it's all good when there's no pressure and there's not an opposing team. It just took us a little bit of a slow start. But as far as going into the playoffs, I think we got to win these games, and I think.
Appreciate it as always.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma. No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
This is number 56, Antoine Peterson, known as Tony Sweets. You're listening to Cleveland Cobras Football on iMedia One Network.
Pre-game show continues here from North Jackson, Ohio, as we get ready for Week 6 of the PAFL. Cleveland Cobras and the Youngstown Patricians getting ready for their matchup here. This early game scheduled for a 4 o'clock kickoff. Got some late rain going on right now. Nothing that appears we're going to have any kind of weather delays, but nonetheless, for Cleveland, they have to make the trip down here. Coach, you mentioned earlier when we were out there, you noticed the roster a little bit lighter, but that's expected at this level for most, especially when you've got this early 4 o'clock game. Yeah,
they're trickulating in as we speak right now. I could see other players coming down and putting their uniforms on as we speak, and they're already warmed up, but that's okay. We'll take anything that we can get at this point. So, Cobras, again, played well last week offensively and defensively, special teams.
Back inside the...
And they have to they got to pull this one out, too, because Patricians are
your home
hungry.
for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Your team under GM John Galbraith and Coach Dom Harris. They played impressively even when they have lost those games. They've been in them, and where they lack
Western
a lot of
Reserve
size,
Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
And that's a good thing. They're fighters, and of course, There's some of our guys that played for the Scourge.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
They just got to get over that hump and get those wins. That's all. They're right there with every team, but they just got to get it done.
Your home for PAFL football is the
Jacksonville
iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Who is a football player wrestler.
Get it done.
Your home for PAFL football is the
Jacksonville.
iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Who is a football player.
Radio 2 and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Patricians head coach Dom Harris about this week's matchup. A lot going. Patricians head coach Dom Harris about this week's matchup. A lot going on here with this new organization.
Your home for PAFL football
is
the iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Coach, when you go back and you look at the last couple of weeks, you guys have been right there in the game. You just haven't been able to finish. How do you keep this group focused with those tough losses the last couple games?
The last defense for keeping us in games and giving us ample opportunity to score the ball, to get in the end zone. What I take from that, I had to be a coach in the last couple of weeks on our bye week, and I had to make some in games and giving us ample opportunity to score the ball, to get in the end zone. What I take from that, I had to be a coach. Our personnel, we've been struggling with that. Who's on the field? Our personnel, we've been struggling with that. Who's on the field at what times? I've noticed during our important games, not our best players. Not saying we don't have our best players on the field where we know that's going to make plays. So just making the proper adjustments and just we have to coach better. We don't have our best players on the field where we know that's going to make plays. So just making the proper adjustments and just we have to coach better. And I'm not gonna beat around the bush about it. To be absolutely realistic, the last couple of games were coaching issues. We got to make better play calling. That was one of the offensive issues. I can't say much. Like I said, can't say much about the defense because when the defense gives you a whole half, the last Rapids game. The defense gave us a whole half. The Rapids never made it past the 50-yard line. That means that's bad coaching when you got the athletes you have to be able to get in the end zone. So we got to coach up, man, and stop coming up with excuses about players not executing. Yeah, they make mistakes. I've seen a couple of bad throws where it was just I would have never thrown in triple man coverage or double man coverage. But other than that, there's no excuse when the defense gives you over 8 times in the game to get in the end zone. Over 8 times in the game to get in the end zone.
Coach, this week it's the first matchup of 2 with the Cobras. Very similar records, very similar results to the season. Do you feel like this is almost a playoff-like matchup, knowing you need to win this game if you want to have a shot at the postseason?
This is a must win for us. It's just for seeding. We got to win at least 2 out of the last 3 games. And the Cobras, I respect their. Whether they win or lose, you can. This is a playoff game, and actually, this is a revenge game for us from last season because we lost against the Cobras 24-23 last season, and that right there would have been a good win for us last season. Us being the Tier 2 team going against a Tier 1, so this is actually a revenge game. But for us, we have to win the rest out if we want to have if we want to be able to live in the playoffs.
Coach,
very important wins.
I appreciate your honesty with us. Always look forward to talking to you, and we will do this next week. We get ready to make that trip to Detroit to take on the Hurricanes. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Back inside the coach's corner, we are joined by Coach Harris of the Youngstown.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football is the I-Media1 Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Lena's has you covered with a wide variety of frozen take-home pierogies and dumplings. Go to Facebook at Lena's Pierogi.
Your home for PAFL football is the I-Media1 Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
20 North Main Street in Hubbard, or call 234-254-8532.
Your home for PAFL football is the I-Media1 Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand. No, you hold mine.
Your home for PAFL football is the I-Media1 Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
Your home for PAFL football is the I-Media1 Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Hey, pretty good.
Yeah.
Your home for PAFL football is the I-Media1 Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Your home for PAFL football is the I-Media1 Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. The I-Media1 Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast. Your home for PAFL football is the Warren and Salem Sports Talk. Western Reserve Radio, Western is the I-Media1. Your home for PAFL football. Your home for PAFL football is the I-Media1 Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
And then sometimes it just doesn't get executed.
Well, and not only that is maybe as a coach you didn't
Your
plug
home for
these guys in
PAFL
right,
football
and you thought they
is
were going to work out, and you tried and tried and tried, and you get to the point where you're frustrated, and you got to make the changes for best for the team. That's all.
Just a few minutes here before kickoff here. Coach, there was a coin toss. What was the results of that?
Coin toss. Cobras won the toss, and they deferred to the second half. So Cobras will be kicking off.
And last week, last game. It wasn't last week as we had got through the 4th of July weekend. But again, the win against the Mid-Ohio Patriots, a big one for them, Coach. We saw them jump out to a quick start. They struggled a little bit in the third and fourth quarter, but the good thing you saw was they kept their heads, they kept cool. They were able to come up with a big special teams play at the end, blocking that field goal. Actually, it was a little bit of a mishandled snap, but nonetheless, they stayed in the game, kept their concentration, and ended up getting the 27-26 win.
And as we've all said, bend but don't break. And boy, they bent a little bit, and we got a little nervous, but then they were able to pull it out.
Changing duties this week as Ben Lyons will be kicking off for the Cleveland Cobras. Lyons been on the sideline here most of the year, but he is now going to kick off, and apparently we have got some confusion here as the teams are going to flip sides of the field. I think there was maybe a change there, Coach.
Yeah.
I don't know. But nonetheless, Cleveland appears that they will be kicking off from left to right here. Just about 85 degrees here. Very humid, Coach. Had some overcast skies, a little bit of light rain in and out. But for the most part, a perfect day, a perfect afternoon for football. The only thing we'll watch here is the heat and humidity, and maybe the officials throw in a few water breaks.
Yeah, you would think. Attrition right now in this kind of heat with that. So wind is not affecting anything, barely blowing. So that's going to bring that heat in, and it's not gonna be underneath them helmets. So they got to make sure they water down, get the ice, and we're getting ready to kick her off right now.
A lot of coverage here for this game in the Youngstown area. We are proud to have Mark Means and Dave Clark broadcasting the game on Sports Radio 1240 via the I-Media1 Network, and that goes back to our great relationship with Cumulus, Coach, and everybody over there. I'll tell you, they're outstanding here. We love working with them, and we're only about 6 weeks away from high school football.
Yep, and I'm grateful that they gave us the opportunity to continue. I think we do a fairly decent job with it, but, we tried to do what we could do and be very professional when it comes to calling games.
So Ben Slater to kick this one off here, so the Cobras will have a specialist in the punter and a kicker as the ball is going to fall off of the tee. And back to return for the Youngstown Patricians. It'll be Jordan Eaton trying to get the other number. It looks like his jersey's kind of rolled up under there. Oh, Toby Williams Sr. will be the other returner for the Youngstown Patricians. Stadium here where they played many years. The Jackson Milton Blue Jays high school program was here. They built a new stadium over by the high school. And now this is the home of the Patricians as Ben Slater is going to get into this one. And we are underway here. And this one going to be picked up near the 10-yard line, brought out by the Patricians to the far side. And they're going to have a good return here out to the 30 and just past the 40, down near the 42-yard line. And that's where the Youngstown Patricians will start 1st and 10 to get this game going.
Yeah, I tell you what, though, he ran about 50 yards because he caught the ball on our sidelines, ran all the way across the field, but he was able to get a decent return out of it.
So the Patricians will start off near the 40. We're only marked every 5 yards, so you're going to get our best guess sometimes. And not a bad afternoon here. Cobras traveling a little bit lighter here, but they will have Dave Slap Thompson at quarterback today. As Cleveland will start off with that four-man front. This week they will get Nehemiah Lightfoot back, defensive tackle. As now 1st and 10 from the 40. They'll go twin receivers to each side. Back to pass, under pressure, rolling out to the right, out to the far side, going to find some room. He might get back to the line of scrimmage, got knocked down right near the 40-yard line. And that's going to be Corey McElroy at quarterback for the Patricians.
And Robert Littlejohn on the scrape for linebacker on the strong side here. He's able to get over there and knock him down. So gain of about 1 yard. Good job by the defense of the Cobras.
Well, we have the chain crew to our side, so we'll be able to see a little bit better here. As head coach Adam Rogerson is going to keep a good eye on that. So as coach said, 2nd and 9 now for the Patricians. They'll go single receiver to the near side, 3 receivers to the narrow side. Actually, the Patricians moving right to left on your device. They're going to flip 2 players, Ryan Royster and Tyree Johnson. 3 receivers now to the wide side. As McElroy waits for the snap. Fires out to the near side with some open room to run. Out past the 50. It's going to be a 1st down for the Patricians. He'll be knocked into the Cleveland sideline, and he'll make it right around the 45, maybe 44-yard line, depending on where they're going to spot that. That's going to be Tyree Johnson Sr. on the reception.
Yeah, that was a great job. I'll tell you what, he snuck him out in the flat, and somebody was not there. Coverage broke.
So 1st and 10 now. We'll call it to 44. McElroy in the shot.
Somebody was not there. Coverage broke.
So 1st and 10 now. We'll call it to 44. McElroy in the shotgun. I'll bring up 3rd down now for the Patricians.
Yeah, absolutely. Great job by the defense. They just smothered that right at the line of scrimmage. I mean, got a few yards out of it, but now it's 3rd and 11.
It looks like the Patricians will have to get right around the 33-yard line. McElroy in the shotgun again. It's going to be Graham to his right. 3 receivers to the narrow side, coach. Interesting. As he'll plant his feet, McElroy under some pressure. Albert Picorni putting on the pressure. He's going to try to be chased down by Knowling. It's going to be Graham to his right. 3 receivers to the narrow side, coach. Interesting. As he'll plant his feet, McElroy under some pressure. Knowling not going to be able to bring him down, and it's going to be McElroy on the run. He'll be knocked out of bounds just short of the 30 if it stands. That is going to be a 1st down for the Patricians.
I think they're going to mark it a little short. He must have went out of bounds, Jim. It's going to be 4th and maybe a long 1.
Yeah, we have a little bit of a crest on the field here. Unlike the turf fields, you'll see that this goes down a little bit, so can't really see where the field down for the Patricians. Bit of a delay here. 3 receivers to the near side this time. McElroy will be in the shotgun. Back to pass, looking out to his left. Rolling out, has some time. And he's going to be brought down by Federer and Picorni. They're going to wrap him up. Matt Federer making the initial contact. Going to push him back to near the 39. And great coverage by the Cobras secondary. We'll give the credit for the sack to them.
Absolutely, and you're absolutely spot on, Jim. He had nowhere to go with that ball, and them linebackers were coming like a train. The end came, and an outstanding job.
So second down now, as the Patricians will have to get to the 20 for the first down. They're going to be at the 36. So to the near side this time. 3 receivers again. McElroy in the shotgun. Single receiver to the far side. Federer and Littlejohn, the linebackers, gnawing out there as well. Fortson on the single coverage, fires over, and it's going to be caught inside the 20-yard line, near the 19, and that should be enough for another Patricians first down.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the coverage was there, but he's got to break on that ball. He's got to get his feet back a lot quicker than that and tighten up against the receiver. He gave him that little bit of room.
Jordan Eaton now running back to the right of Corey McElroy. 3 receivers to the near side. Landon Bates is going to be the outside receiver. So McElroy will get a whistle. We're going to get a flag. And it's going to be an encroachment against Cleveland coming up, and that's going to be a free 5. 1st and 5 now for the Patricians.
The only thing I could think of is oh, well, wait a minute. A little confusion here.
Officials are talking, but they are going to give 5 yards to the Patricians.
Because he started walking backwards instead of forwards.
So 1st and 5 now for Youngstown. 9:16 left here, first quarter. McElroy in the shotgun. Eaton to his right, single receiver to the far side. Youngstown in the red zone. Back to pass, will get out to his left. Fire sidearm, it's going to be caught. McElroy with some time there and has some nice touch on those passes.
I was just going to say, Jim, he can get the ball there pretty quick. That's a good job.
So 2nd and 4 or 5. Again, we're guessing a little bit here as we're only marked every 5 yards. So we'll do the best we can on the angle. As McElroy now in the shotgun. Have some personnel issues here. We'll see if they're going to have to take a timeout. And we're going to get a flag here. It's going to be an illegal substitution coming up against the Patricians. So the 5 that they got on the encroachment is the 5 that they will return to Cleveland on the illegal substitution foul.
Yeah, you had 12 men on the field. They also stacked. They almost ran like a bunch on the right side with the receiver out. Cleveland's got to be very careful and widen out a little bit on that end and then slide that backer over. They have got to be able to watch it if they're going to run toss or power to that side. They're overloading over there, so you got to make sure you have enough personnel and maybe drop that safety down a bit.
Bates again, the receiver to the outside. Go tight to the right. Interesting there. You got looks like a lineman on Roy in an empty backfield. Fire into the corner, and it's going to be was intended for Zaire Graham. They're trying to get a jersey number on the defense, and I believe that's going to be Tamir Stevens breaking that one up. 7:41 left here, first quarter, no score. We'll step aside for a quick break. You are listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One network.
So, are you enjoying our station? Well, now you can take us along on your mobile device wherever you go.
Wow!
The free Live 365 app is available for both Apple and Android devices.
That sounds like fun. I'll give it a try.
Just go to the Apple app or Google Play Store and download it today.
You're listening to WRDB, Western Reserve Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, Warren, Salem, and around the world.
The station that sets the tone for Youngstown Phantoms hockey is Western Reserve Radio. WRDB, The Scourge.
They take their first here of the game. 7:41 left here, first quarter. A little bit of confusion, and you mentioned that overload to the right, Coach. They have 4 players to the right side. Bates going to be the single receiver to the near side. He'll be one-on-one with Kev Fortson. And they're going to bring Graham back. Hand it off up the middle. He'll pick up some yards. Zaire Graham on the carry for Youngstown. Bates going to be the single receiver to the near side. He'll be one-on-one.
Take the ball and follow, and they sealed. Good job by the offensive line and those guys, because they sealed the corner down.
So first and goal now with Burgess at quarterback. He'll take it himself up the middle, going to be met right at the line, nowhere to go. No gain on the play. Second down now for the Patricians.
That looked like that ball came out. That ball hit the turf before he got stopped. They're calling it second down. I don't know. Apparently one of the Patricians came up with the ball. It was clearly a fumble.
All right, they're going to say, yep, Patricians are going to keep the ball. With Miguel Burgess at quarterback. Jordan Eaton to his right. Burgess back to pass, looking out to his right, rolling to his right, looking downfield, trying to fire across his body, but he's going to be wrapped up by a host of Cleveland Cobras. May have picked up a yard or two on the play. May have picked up a yard or got back to the line of scrimmage, but nonetheless, that's going to bring up third and goal now for Youngstown.
That was a great job by the defense. I'll tell you what, Little John was right there on the blitz. He saw that one coming, and that was a great job. But Courtney was on that as well.
Ambrose McCorney all over the field. He and his brother Albert now on the roster here. As Burgess now still at, they were going to have McElroy back at quarterback, rolling to the near side, looking for the angle, looking for the end zone, and he's going to be brought down. And they'll say no, he broke the goal line. He's in for the touchdown. We'll call it a 6-yard touchdown run for the Youngstown Patricians. 5:27 left here in the first quarter. Patricians take a 6-0 lead.
Yeah, he was able, he took the snap and took a look around the edge, and he was able to beat the end. If the end would have snap and took a look around the edge, and if the end angle, but get some depth, slow up the line of scrimmage, and when he did that, it gave him, he was able to get around his outside shoulder, and you weren't catching him.
Patricians will go for the extra point. David Harbaugh on for the conversion as the sun peeks back out here through the clouds. And we talked about some of the heat. So Youngstown on their first drive goes right downfield, 60 yards for the touchdown. Harbaugh. It's going to be blocked, ball's loose, and it's going to be picked up. And look, I think that's Nico St. Clair, but no good as he'll bring it out to the 25. That'll be it. And the Patricians off to the Cobras with 5:27 left here in the first quarter, Coach. And a nice drive by the Patricians. And the Cobras are going to have to figure something out in that secondary.
Yeah, and he threw the ball when he got tackled at one of the players. That should be 15 yards on top of that. Nope, they're calling it personal foul. Yep, there's your 15. Can't let your head ruin this. Terrible.
All right, so to figure something out in that secondary.
Yeah.
So Harbaugh on to kick this one off. A little bit of confusion. I know the officials are kind of giving him some latitude.
Now Cobras called a timeout. Coach called a timeout because there was some.
All right, so Coach Adam Rogers is not happy about this. Cleveland will take their first timeout. We'll step aside for a break. You are listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio, available now on the iMedia One Network app. We're right back after this.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local events. Tune in and be part of their live weekly shows, as well as the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the PAFL. Find them on westernreserveradio.com, tune in, and the Live 365. Find them on westernreserveradio.com, tune in, and the Live 365 app to be part of the area's conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio or on Twitter at WR_radio.
The stations that are always ahead of the game. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast.
All right, after Cleveland takes a timeout, Harbaugh on the kickoff for the Patricians. It'll be Tyree Knight. Back to be Matt Wise as well. So finally set here after some issues. Brett Widener trying to get a little bit of a head start there. He lined up just about a yard off the ball. That would probably be a good idea if this were the new NFL rules. But we are playing it under the old NFL rules here. Harbaugh finally to kick this one off. And this one's going to be a low line drive, picked up by Wise at the goal line. He'll bring this one out, has a hole, cuts back to the near side. And he's going to be tripped up just short of the 30-yard line. We'll call it the 29. That's where the Cobras will take over 1st and 10 with 5:21 left here in the first quarter. Well, the Cobras looked much better, Coach, last time against the Mid-Ohio Patriots. Offensive line had a better outing there, as well as quarterback Dave Thompson, who will start this game for the Cobras.
Well, let's see what the offense could do now. They've got to play control football. Don't get greedy. Do what you got to do.
Cobras down 6-0 here. They'll have the ball for the first time. Morris Dillard leading the offensive line. Thompson in the shotgun. TJ Johnson behind him. He'll have a fullback to his left. Twin receivers to the near side. He'll pitch it out to Johnson. Cutting back in. Going to be tripped up in the backfield. He's going to lose about 4 on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 14 now for Cleveland.
Johnson missed his block at tackle. He got blown. Didn't move his feet. That end came right off that corner, and he beat him. So he has got to shuffle his feet and take that deep step.
So the Cobras start off with a 4-yard loss. They'll mark this back at the 26-yard line. 2nd and 14 now for Cleveland. Cobras moving left to right on your devices. Just about 4.5 minutes left here, first quarter. Tyree Knight and Ben Slater, the twin receivers to the near side. Thompson taking his time. TJ Johnson in the backfield. Gonna have a tight end to the left as well. And some movement up front there. Everybody moved but Morris Dillard, the center. And it's going to be a false start against Cleveland. That'll put him back 5. It'll be 2nd and 19 now for Cleveland.
Not a good start. Not a good start. They've got to sit and think, relax. Let's not panic here.
Abe Taylor, the tight end to the left for Cleveland. He'll be wearing number 20 today. An auspicious start, to say the least, for the Cleveland Cobras as they trail 6-0.
Got to put it back together here. Got to take your time.
As they trail 6-0.
Together here. Got to take. Let's not get fancy here. Don't want to make a mistake here, because going down 14 would.
Wise, Knight, Slater, the 3 receivers to the near side. Abe Taylor will now spread out to the far side. Single receiver for Cleveland. Thompson in the shotgun. TJ Johnson to his left. Back to pass, 3-step. Under pressure, fires over the middle. That's going to be caught by Matt Wise. He's got some room to the outside. Trying to and he's gone. Cleveland gets on the board on an 80-yard touchdown pass. Dave Thompson to Matt Wise on the short pass. Wise does all the work. He gets into the end zone. It's 6-6 with 3:20 left here in the first quarter.
Matt Wise, I don't know what gear he hit, but it was more like 7th gear because he outran them. They didn't even, and they had an angle on him. I really thought he'd get bumped out of bounds around the 40, maybe 35, and holy mackerel did he draw away from him. Great catch and run.
So after a couple of disastrous, getting the penalty, being 2nd and 19, Dave Thompson, patient, throws it right over the middle to Matt Wise. Wise going 80 yards for the Cleveland touchdown. 6-6 is your score. Ben Slater, or excuse me, talking about a wide receiver now, but Ben Lyons on for the extra point. C.J. Hale to hold. Cleveland with the opportunity to take the lead here.
Hope we don't lose coach like we lost a couple of freshmen a few years ago.
Slow snap back, kick is up with the opportunity to take the lead.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
.320 left here, first quarter. Cleveland with the 7-6. The first quarter. On an 80-yard touchdown pass after getting into a 2nd and 19 situation. Dave Slap Thompson finding Matt Wise across the middle. Goes 80 yards for a big answer for the Cobras after that long drive. Big answer for the Cobras after that long drive by Youngstown.
I'll tell you what he just grabbed the gear. I'll tell you what, lightning speed. And you know what, Jim, after those first 3 plays, they needed that very badly. So
Jeff Cooper Ryder on to kick this one off. You'll kick it left or right on your devices. Again, we keep saying your devices because, of course, we have the iMedia One Network app available now for iPhone and Android. Get all the stations of the iMedia One Network in one place as they'll kick this one off. Will be picked up to the far side. Eaton will return this one out past the 10, 20. He'll make it out past the 30, just about to the 33 or 34-yard line. And that's where they take over 1st and 10. As they look to answer the big 80-yard strike of Cleveland. And so far, an even matchup here between these two teams. Could be a long afternoon here. Could be back and forth.
Yeah, but the thing is that extra points are going to be so crucial. And they're already down 1, so.
You know, we saw how that cost the Mid-Ohio Patriots 2 weeks ago in Lakewood as they took on the Cobras. And that was the difference in the game, really. Cooper Ryder going to head to the sideline, had to collect up everything. But it'll be Youngstown. Miguel Burgess at quarterback. He'll have Jordan Eaton to his right. Play action. Looking downfield under pressure. Stepping up in the pocket. And he's going to elude one tackle and fire over the middle. It's going to be incomplete. Laquan Turner on the coverage for Cleveland. And Burgess doing a good job extending the right. Stepping up in the pocket. In the middle, it's going to be incomplete. Rolling, he's going to take it himself with a little bit of room to run. He'll run past Federer. He'll get near midfield and a block as Nico St. Clair will bring him down in Cleveland territory near the 34-yard line. And I believe they're going to have St. Clair for a horse collar tackle. And I believe they're going to have St. Clair tackle.
It's going to be brought back, though, Jim, because it's offsetting.
So the officials congregating on the Patrician sideline. trying to figure it out. So
I mean, that's deadly. That's deadly.
So they'll mark it 3rd and 12. We'll try it again as we get the whistle from our referee. We'll wipe that play out, and we'll do this one again. Whistle from our referee. Out, and we'll do this one again. So Burgess at the quarterback position, Eaton to his right, twin receivers to each side. Excuse me, it'll be single receiver to the right.
It looked like motion.
Back to pass. Try in the backfield, a big sack for the Cleveland Cobras. A big defensive play that they needed, as the Patricians have kind of just been moving around the field as they like, had a lot of time, but Cleveland gets the pressure.
Yeah, that was, he got engulfed. Mormon, it looked like, was on that tackle.
Indeed, number 9 here, Donovan Mormon.
Donovan Mormon.
With the sack for Cleveland. And Harbaugh on to punt this one away. Up right around his own 40-yard line. Harbaugh waiting for the snap. Decent snap. He'll get this one out. And it'll be picked up by Knight at the 40. He'll make it inside the Youngstown territory and be brought down near the 30-yard line. We'll see where they're going to give it to him, maybe right around the 32. So a good return by Tyree Knight. Dangerous returner for the Cleveland Cobras. The Cobras going to take over with good field position inside Youngstown territory.
Yeah, we got 33 seconds to go.
With the hard count. Gives it to, going to actually pitch it out to the far side on the ground. Somehow picked up by Johnson, and he'll get out near the 25-yard line, and sometimes you just get the ball to bounce the right way.
That oval football never does that. I will tell you, usually hits the ground. It's going to bounce all over the place. He pitched it, it bounced. He caught it, hit. He caught it in a dead run and was able to get at least 8 yards on that.
Gaddy and Johnson still in the backfield with Slap Thompson. Twin receivers to the far side. Now Tyree Knight will be the slot. Single receiver to the right. That'll be Slater, and we're going to get a whistle. As we come to the end of the first quarter here in North Jackson, it's going to be the Cleveland Cobras with the 7-6 lead over the Youngstown Patricians. We'll step aside for a quick timeout. You're listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One network.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob. During the fall.
Apologize. Terrible signal here in North Jackson today for whatever reason.
Sounds like a doorbell on our end.
So Gaddy and Johnson in the backfield with Thompson. Twin receivers to the near side. Single receiver to the far side. Quick pass out to Tyree Knight's going to go over to the far side. Quick pass out to Tyree Knight's going to go over his head and through his hands. That'll bring up second and one. Excuse me, that's 2nd and 1 now for Cleveland, and you can pretty much call whatever you want at that point. Playbook kind of opens up for you.
Yeah, and that's. But again, my opinion, get the first down. Don't get fancy. Get a first down. 4 more downs. You got good field position. Play smart football.
It opens up for you.
Yeah, and that's. Downs. You got good field position. Play smart football here offensively.
So 3rd and 1 for Cleveland. It'll be Knight, D'Angelo Thompson, twin receivers to the near side. Gonna go 2 backs in the backfield. Johnson, the tailback. Thompson with the handoff to Gaddy, and Gaddy going to spin and turn. He'll get the first down and more for Cleveland. The Cobras drive will continue as we get underway here in the second quarter.
I like it. Good call. It's safe call. He was able to squirt out of there and do some spinning all over the place, so good job there.
So Malik Gaddy gets the first.
Hey, he came up on that one and unloaded on him. So that was a great job. Great defense. He read it and got it. Now you got second and about, 14 maybe?
Gaddy will head to the sideline. He'll be replaced. He'll get a breather here. His clock will continue to run. 13-16 left here. Second quarter.
Hey, he came up on that. Got it. They're listening to quarterbacks that are watching the football.
So slap Thompson in the shotgun. Johnson his left. He'll give it to Johnson. Johnson off the right side. He'll get forward for a couple of yards. And we'll see where we'll bring him down right around the 10-yard line. He'll get forward for a couple of yards. And we'll see where we'll bring him down right around the 10-yard line. Looks like they have to get right to about the 5 for the first down.
Yeah, so maybe a long 4, maybe, something in that vicinity. So here we go. Now, first down. You go for that. Quarterback's running after that end, and if it's there, pitch it. If not, then you force that. The pitches are just not there. I see that they want to attack the outside on that, but you got to fake the dive and do that because that end's going to read that every time and come crashing down.
Turnover on downs.
You got to fake the dive and do that. Crashing down.
The Cleveland. Oh, excuse me. I thought they had it marked as fourth down on the chain crew. Okay.
It is fourth down.
All right. Well, I take that back then. C.J. Hale, going to be the holder for Ben Lyons. We're going to call this about a 36-yard field goal, which would be well within Ben Lyons' range. Snap is back. Kick is up, and it is good. Ben Lyons. Yard field goal of the Cleveland Cobras. Cobras trying to get the win on the road. Apologize, we have some connection difficulties here in North Jackson. Of the Cleveland Cobras. Cobras trying.
And City View Sportscast, Youngstown,
Lions
Ohio.
To kick off for Cleveland. And this one's going to be an end-over-end kick.
PAFL Football is
just short of the end zone, maybe.
Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Near the 30, we're going to have a flag. Looks like we're going to have a block in the back, maybe. And he'll make his way out near the 35-yard line.
Your home for PAFL Football, Western Reserve Radio Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. PAFL Football is the Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast.
Absolutely a hit in the back.
Your home for PAFL Football is the iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Technical difficulty. We're trying to get this worked out. No problem. As we'll switch some.
iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Switch some services here.
Your home for PAFL Football is the iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western 2, and City View. Your home for PAFL Football is the iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View for PAFL Football is the iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
McElroy's quarterback.
Lair Graham will be to the
Your
right
home for
of McElroy.
PAFL football
Single receiver
is
to the
the
far side. We go wing to the left
Network.
now.
Western Reserve Radio,
Receivers to the near
Western
side.
Reserve Radio 2, and City View
McElroy rolling out to the
Sportscast,
far side.
Youngstown, Ohio.
Fires down the sideline, and it's going to be caught. Was it inbounds? And they're going to say no. Incomplete.
Your home for PAFL
That's
football
intended
is the iMedia
for
One
Landon
Network.
Bates. He
Western
couldn't bring
Reserve
it in
Radio,
inbounds.
Western Reserve
Well, I'll
Radio
tell you
2,
what,
and City
he
View
looked to the
Sportscast,
inside, and he was
Youngstown,
able to
Ohio.
turn his body to the outside. The defense was there, but he got his head around and he made that catch.
Your home
but
for
he
PAFL
was,
football
I gotta
is
say,
the
he's probably at least a
iMedia
yard
One
or so out of
Network.
bounds.
Western
on that.
Reserve
So that's a
Radio,
great effort
Western
by the
Reserve
receiver.
Radio 2,
Getting
and
up
City
and
View
looking for that
Sportscast,
ball.
Youngstown,
Great
Ohio.
catch. But all for naught.
Your home for PAFL football
Now
is
second
the
and 10.
iMedia One Network. Western
For
Reserve
Youngstown.
Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View
McElroy will remain at
Sportscast,
quarterback.
Youngstown,
Edwards gonna come on
Ohio.
at the last second for Cleveland. He'll take it himself to the far
PAFL
side.
football
And
is Western
Try to
Reserve
give you a
Radio
number.
2, and
That's
City
gonna
View
be-
Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
That's going to be Abe Taylor wearing number 20 this week.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One
McElroy
Network.
trying to extend the
Western
play with his
Reserve
legs.
Radio,
All
Western
of that-
Reserve Ohio.
20 this week.
Is the iMedia One
McElroy
Network.
trying to extend the
Western
play.
Reserve
I think
Radio
you're gonna
2,
say he
and
picked about
City
a
View
yard or- picked up a
Sportscast,
yard or two.
Youngstown, Ohio.
Back,
One
get her-
Network,
get her
Western
in
Reserve
there.
Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
3rd and 2 now. Back to pass.
Your home for PAFL
McElroy rolling
football
to the near
is
side.
the
Fire
iMedia
sidearm.
One Network.
Caught.
Western Reserve
And it's
Radio,
gonna be
Western
maybe
Reserve
just
Radio
enough
2,
for a
and
first
City View
down. Ryan
Sportscast,
Royster
Youngstown,
on the
Ohio.
reception for Youngstown, and McElroy throwing a nice sidearm there, putting it right in the pocket.
Yeah, absolutely. Again,
Your home
not
for
bad
PAFL
coverage.
football
He's just,
is
the quarterback's getting it in there, and they just
Western
gotta,
Reserve Radio,
they gotta
Western
play more on
Reserve
the hip.
Radio
They
2,
can't give
and
him
City
that
View
little bit because
Sportscast,
he's getting
Youngstown,
there.
Ohio. Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
26 or 27. It's McElroy in the shotgun. He'll play on his feet, looking out to his
Your
left.
home for
Fires out
PAFL
towards the left
football
sideline.
is the
Intercepted
iMedia One
by
Network.
Cleveland at the
Western
40.
Reserve Radio,
He's got some
Western
blockers.
Reserve Radio
and
2,
I
and
believe
City View
that's going to be
Sportscast,
Jeff Fortson
Youngstown,
being knocked out of
Ohio.
bounds inside the 15-yard line. Cleveland will take over. 1st and 10 on the interception.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia
Although the
One
quarterback
Network.
hit
Western
hung,
Reserve
it hung
Radio,
forever,
Western
so,
Reserve Radio
there
2,
was
and
nothing
City View Sportscast,
a
Youngstown,
receiver could have
Ohio.
done, maybe try to get it and knock it down, but absolutely, there was just, it floated on him.
Your home for
Great pickup
PAFL
by,
football
Cleveland.
is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western
First down
Reserve
for the
Radio 2,
Cobras.
and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
I'll mark this right at the 15-yard line at the stripe.
Your home for PAFL football is the
Fortson
iMedia
really
One
working that
Network.
one-on-one
Western Reserve
backside.
Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2,
talked about
and
that.
City
Hung
View
right up there,
Sportscast,
Coach.
Youngstown, Ohio.
And defensive backs love when that hangs.
Your home for PAFL
50-50
football
ball.
is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Happy end of that one.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2,
Thompson in
and
the
City View
shotgun.
Sportscast,
Back to
Youngstown,
pass, the guy's right
Ohio.
throat, looking for the end zone, and it's going to be
Your One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio, City View
Shotgun.
Sportscast,
Back to
Youngstown,
pass, the
Ohio.
guy's- and it's going to be
Your
late
home for
flag.
PAFL
Yeah.
football is the iMedia One
And I think
Network.
after some
Western Reserve Radio,
consideration
Western
there through
Reserve
it.
Radio 2, and City View
Yeah,
Sportscast,
there's no doubt
Youngstown,
there was
Ohio.
interference. He got banged as that thing was in the air, so absolutely.
Your home for
That's gonna be
PAFL
half the-
2 and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
2nd and 10 now for Cleveland.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
A bit of a delay. We'll get the whistle for play.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One
Thompson in the
Network,
shotgun.
Western
York Gaddy
Reserve
to his
Radio,
left.
Western
Johnson to
Reserve
his
Radio
right.
2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
A little bit of movement. Good discipline there. Hand off to Johnson. Johnson trying to cut
Your
back
home for
in.
PAFL
Gets to the line of
football
scrimmage,
is
driving
the
his legs.
iMedia One Network,
May have picked up a
Western
yard
Reserve
on the play.
Radio,
We'll get the
Western
whistle.
Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast.
We'll bring up now 3rd down for Cleveland.
Yeah, they're saying maybe a half a yard on that one, Jim. Good job by the defense. I'll tell you what, they smothered that one right at the line of scrimmage. So,
all right, 3rd down here. 8:05 left here, 2nd quarter. Cleveland with the 10-6 lead. Patricians get on the board first on a 60-yard drive. Since then, it has been Cleveland. They get the turnover on the interception by Kev Fortson, setting them up. As Johnson now in the shotgun. Thompson in the shotgun. Johnson to his right. Tyree Knight and Thompson, the receivers to the left, moving up front. And we're going to get a flag, but they're going to say a false start against Cleveland. And one of the things for Slap Thompson is that hard count is good, but it also can draw your own guys off.
Yeah, you get got to pay attention with him. But, you know, I'm assuming that he's telling them that, hey, I'm going to be hard counting them, be careful.
All right, so this one marked at the 20-yard line. 3rd down now. They'll have to get to the 15 for a 1st down. 7:20 left here, 2nd quarter. Twin receivers to the near side. D'Angelo Thompson, Tyree Knight. Receivers to the single side. Slater going to be a tight end to the right. Single receiver to the far side. Thompson in the shotgun. Johnson to his right. Back pass, shoulder fake, thrown out to the side, looking for Tyree Knight. He's going to overthrow him in the end zone. That's going to bring up 4th down for Cleveland. And take a look where the ball is marked here, as we have a flag here on the near side.
Offsides.
So encroachment against Youngstown. That flag came from our head linesman, Adam Rogerson, telling him thank you.
Yeah, that's down over.
All right, so they'll give it another shot here.
+5.
Okay, they're going to mark the ball at the 15.
Okay.
Our chain crew less than on it, we'll say.
Yeah.
So go twin receivers to the near side. D'Angelo Thompson, Tyree Knight. Slater going to be a stand-up tight end to the right. Single receiver to the far side. Thompson in the shotgun. Hard count again. People come across. Quick pass into the corner, and it's going to be incomplete.
That's got to be a flag.
And we have a flag that came in from the far side, and it's going to be an encroachment call.
Oh, absolutely.
Against Youngstown. Dave Pringle does not agree. Pringle saying that Lamoris Dillard moved the ball, which caused the defensive line to jump. And, of course, Dave Pringle, one of our favorites.
Yes, indeedy. Western Reserve Scourge player.
Well, been playing for a long time on a championship team for the Scourge in 2015. For you guys keeping score at home, it's 2025.
God, I feel so young.
So Matt Wise, a single receiver to the far side now. Thompson and Knight, twin receivers to the near side. Slater again going to be the tight end to the right of Dave Slap Thompson. TJ Johnson back there as well. Handoff to Johnson, trying to find room to the left side. He's going to be brought down, or at least slowed down from behind, as Anthony Harris made his way in. May have picked up a yard or two on the play, but that's going to bring up 4th down now for Cleveland. And easy call here as they're going to send Ben Lyons on the field.
That's a no-brainer here. Chip shot, it should be, as long as snap and hold is good. It should be at least come out of here with points.
Well, you just like to jinx the whole thing, don't you, Coach?
Well, you know, if you got to call it, you got to call it right, that's all. You know, kickers, holders, they're about the same.
Okay. So Ben Lyons making his season debut here in 2025. Will come on for the field goal. Trying to see where this is marked at. Is that the 10-yard line from our angle? I believe it's going to be the 10. So let's call it a 27-yard field goal to entertain us. As the right-footed kicker gets set, C.J. Hale to hold. Slow snap back. Kick is up. Off the upright. And it is good. Ben Lyons gets the doink.
I'll tell you what, when it goes well, it goes well. What do we got?
And we got an encroachment against the Patricians. The field goal is good. They needed 5. The encroachment call would give them 5.
Yeah, I would ask if that's a first down.
How close are we, Coach?
I don't know. If it's 5 yards, that's a first down.
So there's some discussion there as the officials now. Marvin Germany. And it's going to be a first down. It looks like the Cleveland offense making its way back to the field. 5:37 left here, second quarter. We're going to wipe that field goal off of the scoreboard. And Cleveland will get 4 more shots at this. As the shorthanded Cobras playing very well here today so far. You see on our sideline trying to manage the heat as they stay out of the sun. Trainer Beth Betancourt trying to keep everybody cool over there.
Yep. They got to move the sticks, go. It's first down going in.
Well, they can drop them right there.
It has to be a first down. If there's 5 yards there, it's got to be a first down.
Well, Cleveland's in the offensive huddle. So we'll see if the Cobras can take advantage of this. 5:37 left here, second quarter. Cobras with the 10-6 lead. They'll take the 27-yard field goal off the board.
Now this is stuff that I don't understand. The head coach is out in the where the ball line of scrimmage is. That should not happen.
Out there talking. Now he had a player that was actually bent over, so I don't know if he was checking on him. It looked like they were maybe a little bit of heat issues, but head coach Dom Harris headed back to the sideline. But nonetheless, Cobras in the offensive huddle. It's first and goal from the 5 with 5:37 left here in the second quarter. Cobras still lead 10-6. Thompson in the backfield. Robinson behind him. Johnson to his right. Abe Taylor, he'll be the single receiver to the far side. D'Angelo Thompson to the near side. Slater going to be the tight end to the right.
There it is.
And a hand up. And they say the ball came loose. We'll see what the officials say. Dave Pringle came up with it. They're going to say first down Youngstown. So not only do they not get the field goal, they turn the ball over inside the 5-yard line. Patricians keep it a 10-6 game.
That's an outstanding job by Dave Pringle. Makes the hit, pops the ball, and recovers it. So great job.
Yep, Dave Pringle, we always loved him and his effort. Certainly showed that there.
And what an amazing young man. I'll tell you what, always respectful, always listen to his coaches. Just a great athlete, good guy. I would say kid, but he's a man.
Well, he got kids of his own now. I mean, they're...
Yeah. Met his daughter before the game.
So it'll be first and 10 for Youngstown. Now we're trying to see where the ball is marked, and it looks like it's going to be right around the 1 or 2 yard line from our angle.
Yeah.
With 5:27 left here in the second quarter. So McElroy will be at the quarterback position. Graham to his left. Twin receivers to the far side. Single receiver to the near side. That'll be Trey Bell. McElroy waiting for the snap. Hand it off. He'll be hit right at the line. No gain on the play. He'll be pushed back into the end zone, but did plenty to get out of the end zone. It'll be second down now for the Patricians.
Let's see what we got. He got about a yard gain on that.
No, any breathing room at this point helps.
Yeah, if they were smart, they'd be very, very careful with this.
Clock continues to run here. 5 minutes left, second quarter. McElroy again in the shotgun. Back to pass, looks out to his left, fires into the flats, incomplete. He'll throw it into the dirt. Tyree Johnson was the intended receiver Third down now for Youngstown, as Donovan Mormon will head onto the field. He'll give Joe Barrico a breather. Mormon already with a sack today.
That is one big body coming off and one big body going
It's not
in.
the hit I would worry about. It's the weight that it would fall on me after he got me.
Those are two big people. Yes, indeedy.
You wouldn't be able to tell where the grass ended and the green jerseys began. So
they'd peel you up and you'd have a print of your body there,
like a Looney Tunes commercial.
Bugs Bunny or Roadrunner.
So again, McElroy in the shotgun. Graham to his left. Two receivers to each side. Back to pass. Stepping up in the pocket, looking downfield, has a man going across the middle, can't get the ball off, tosses it, but it's going to be caught just short of the 40-yard line, near the 39. Christopher McCullough on the reception for the Patricians. And he's still running, but they're going to say no, he went down. They blew the whistle.
Blew the whistle.
So an inadvertent whistle. But again, we're kind of modified college rules. We talked about last week the modified Canadian college rules.
Well, whistle was blown, so they cannot give them anything.
Yeah, the only thing the Patricians can do, if that is the case, is take the result of the play or have the down over.
Yeah, because once that whistle blew, again, I didn't see if he got touched. I watched the play, and I got to believe that when he came down, he got touched, so we'll see.
So a big play to McCullough gets the Patricians out of the shadow of their own end zone. They'll mark the ball at the 40-yard line. Three receivers to the far side this time. Single receiver to the near side. Back to pass. Looking out to his left. Fires over the middle. Caught. Goes up after it. Catches it near the 48-yard line. They get into Cleveland territory with 3:50 left here in the second quarter.
I'll tell you what, these receivers, I will give them credit. When that ball's in the air, it is theirs.
So right back to the line. McElroy with Eaton to his right this time. Back to pass, rolling out to his left side. Abe Taylor there, reaching around, trying to bring him down. He'll slip the tackle. McElroy still on the run, has plenty of green now. Nolling's in his way, trying to get him to cut back. He'll go down just short of the 50, near the 48-yard line. So a lot going on there. And we'll get a whistle as Cleveland is going to take a timeout. 3:04 left here, second quarter. We'll step aside for a quick break. You're listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One network. Nina's Pierogi House is your home for the area's best variety of pierogies. Daily specials include the Polish platter, the Hungarian platter, stuffed cabbage, and halushki. Having a last-minute get-together? Lena's has you covered with a wide variety of frozen take-home pierogies and dumplings. Go to Facebook at Lena's Pierogi House to see the weekly lineup of available flavors for dine-in or carry-out. Catch the best at Lena's Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 20 North Main Street in Hubbard, or call 234-254-8532.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. The stations that are always ahead of the game.
.304 left here, second quarter. Cleveland taking their first timeout. Their second timeout of the half. Cobras with a 10-6 lead. However, Patricians with the ball at their own 48-yard line. I'll call it the 49. 48.5. 48.5.
I'll tell you what, the offensive line of the Patricians are absolutely spent. Jeez.
And this day is not built for big guys.
Absolutely not, or a quarterback that's running. McElroy's running all over the place. He is a very good athlete.
McElroy in the shotgun, Eaton to his left. 3 receivers to the far side. Single receiver to the near side. He'll be one-on-one with Tamir Stevens. McElroy back to pass, looking out to his left, fires out into the flat to Eaton. Eaton working his way upfield, and he'll be brought down just past the 50-yard line. We'll see if they give him the 48. He'll get back into Cleveland territory. They need to get to just about the 37 or 38 for a first down as we approach the 2:45 mark here, second quarter. And Cleveland deferred in the first half, so they will get the ball to start the second half.
Here we go.
So McElroy in the shotgun. This time he'll have Zaire Graham in the backfield. 3 receivers to the near side this time. Single receiver to the far side. That'll be Bates. McElroy back to pass, plants his feet, rolling out to the near side. Picorni chasing him down, trying to square him up. Lightfoot there as well, and he's going to escape again, but chased down this time by Nolling. Nolling is spent as well. He'll bring him down at the Patricians' 40-yard line. And Durante Nolling down as Malik Gaddy and Beth Bettencourt will come out and check on him. And I don't know if he twisted something on the trying to bring him down, but McElroy all over the field. And
looking at these defensive linemen coming off field, I'll tell you what, both sides, it's hot for these guys, but they are just running all over the field. Offensively for them, just trying to keep up with the blocking. The defense is just running all over the place.
We've hit the 2-minute warning here in the first half.
McElroy's from Middle Ridge, too.
Indeed he is. All right, so while they're checking on him, we will step aside for a break. You are listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One Network. We're back right after this. Catch all of the spring and summer action of Cleveland Cobras minor league football on Western Reserve Radio. Follow the Cobras as they compete against teams from around the region in pursuit of a Tri-Point Football League championship. And if you're looking to continue your football career after high school, college, or even the pros, or to be part of the Cobras staff, go to clevelandcobrasfootball.com, Facebook at Cleveland Cobras Football, or contact owner Jesse Caldwell at 330-416-3442. Be a part of the excitement of Cleveland Cobras football.
Youngstown, Warren, and Salem Sports Talk is on the iMedia One Network, Youngstown, Ohio.
Durante Nolling back up off of the field here, walking off on his own. A little bit of a limp there, but I have this funny feeling we will see him again as we hit the 2-minute warning here in this first half. Cleveland with a 10-6 lead.
As we say, Jim, in the coaching thing, spit on it, rub some dirt on it.
All this time you can actually do it. There's this all grass surface here.
You know what? There's a difference between an injury and being hurt.
David Harbaugh on the punt this one away. Tyree Knight will return for Cleveland. He'll be right around his own 25-yard line. You would hope that Harbaugh has some directional ability because I think you want to punt away from Knight. So he'll back up inside his 20-yard line. Harbaugh waiting for the snap high. He'll bring it down. He'll get it away just barely, and it's going to be down right around the 15-yard line, maybe the 16. And that's where Cleveland will take over, 1st and 10 with 1:49 left here in the half. And probably the best thing could have happened there was that short punt. You keep it away from Tyree Knight. You don't want to give him any open field.
No, not at this point. Absolutely.
10-6 is your score. Of course, I want to remind everybody that you can also hear this game locally in Youngstown on Sports Radio 1240, WBBW Special Edition of PAFL Football here in the Youngstown area. Mark Means, Dave Clark. Of course, Jim Craven over here, Coach Bob Gessler, Matt Craven, here on Western Reserve Radio. And, of course, part of the iMedia One Network app for iPhone and Android. So 1st and 10 for Cleveland. I believe they're going to mark it right at the 15-yard line. Thompson in the shotgun. They'll have Robinson behind him. One running back to his right. Single receiver to each side. Slater will be the stand-up tight end to the right again. Play action, and Thompson's going to be wrapped up in the backfield. George Freeman Jr. never broke pace. Well, and that's going to be a sack for the Patricians.
He played that perfect, though, Jim. He went outside shoulder, got a great angle, so as soon as he pulled, he had depth.
So 2nd down. And the Patricians going to take a timeout. 1:32 left here, 2nd quarter. We'll step aside for a break. You're listening to Cleveland Cobras football right here on the iMedia One Network app. We're back right after this.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local events. Tune in and be part of their live weekly shows, as well as the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the PAFL. Find them on westernreserveradio.com, tune in, and the Live 365 app to be part of the area's conversation.
The stations that always keep you in the zone.
I love it.
It's awesome.
Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
1:32 left here, 2nd quarter. Thompson back in the shotgun. Call it about 2nd and about 15, maybe 16 from our angle. Single receiver to the far side. Single receiver to the near side. That'll be Tyree Knight. They'll hand this one off. It'll be Robinson fighting his way forward. And he'll get back near the original line of scrimmage. And Robinson, got to see him a little bit last game against the Mid-Ohio Patriots. Did a good job staying square, getting upfield.
Absolutely. Not a problem. Keep them shoulders going, take one dip, but you know what? I've always said you got to hit the hole and don't jump around. And he's hitting the hole good.
Clock, for whatever reason, stopped at 1:23 left here. Did we get a, somebody took a timeout? Nope, they're going to wind the clock now. Coach Shane Glover out there trying to direct something. And some confusion on here. I don't.
Well, they never, after the.
Okay, so the clock is going to stop with 1:12. We'll see if they put any more time on.
1:25.
And I believe we're going to. It's going to be a timeout, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, some confusion here, but nonetheless, they'll put 1:23 back up on the clock here. Cleveland with a 10-6 lead. They'll get the ball in the second half. I got a little bit of time to work here, Coach. Time, at least one timeout left for Cleveland, and a long way to go.
Well, the Patricians are hoping that they stop them here, so they can get that extra, maybe that extra possession in before the half. That's what they're doing. That's why they smoked another timeout. It's 3rd and long, so why not?
So back to the line for Cleveland. Well, Thompson in the shotgun, Robinson in the backfield as well. And one running back to his left. I think that's going to be Gaddy. Single receiver to the far side. Tyree Knight lined up to the left of Thompson. On the outside. Play action, back to pass, fires over the middle, and it's going to be thrown behind him. It looked like Thompson slid on the turf, and Tyree Knight was headed to the end zone by himself. And he knew it, too. Tyree Knight was right around the 50-yard line when we noticed he was all by himself.
Yeah, there was nobody here. He missed him.
So it's going to bring up 4th down, and for the first time today, the Cobras will punt this one away. 1:18 left here, second quarter. Cleveland with a 10-6 lead.
Yeah, now this could be dangerous. That's a lot of time for them, and they've been taking chunks.
So slight delay here. Jeff Cooper-Ryder will come on to punt this one away. Looks like we're missing a few personnel there on the Cobra sideline.
Now we got a timeout, another one.
Okay, so personnel issue here. We'll step aside as well here. You are listening to the PAFL Football here on Western Reserve Radio. We'll be back right after this.
So, are you enjoying our station? Well, now you can take us along on your mobile device wherever you go.
Wow!
The free Live 365 app is available for both Apple and Android devices.
That sounds like fun. I'll give it a try.
Just go to the Apple app or Google Play Store and download it today.
You're listening to WRDB, Western Reserve Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, Warren, Salem, and around the world.
The stations that are always ahead of the game. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast. Youngstown, Ohio.
.118 left here, second quarter. Cooper-Ryder on to punt this one away for the Cleveland Cobras, and it's going to be Eaton back to return for the Patricians.
And he really needs to get a good punt off here.
Cooper-Ryder waiting for the snap. As the punt team settles down, they'll get this one away. It's going to be a high end over end as Eaton picks this one up at the 45. He'll break it past midfield, and he'll be wrapped up near the 46-yard line and throw backwards. And the Patricians will start off 1st and 10 as we have a flag on the far side. It looked like Cooper-Ryder and Ryan Royster were having some words.
Well, that's going to be, well, I'm hoping just offsetting, but Cooper-Ryder decided that there was a little pushing and shoving, and he decided to remove his helmet and of the opponent and bring it about 15 yards downfield. So we will see exactly what the penalty is. I'm going to say it's offsetting.
So the official's going to talk at midfield here. 1:06 left here, second quarter. Cleveland with a 10-6 lead. Patricians with the ball, though, inside Cobra territory.
Dead ball. So we're going 15 yards, giving them 15 yards.
Okay.
There must have been 3 penalties on it.
So in addition to the return, the Patricians will get an extra 15 yards. And I'll have 1:06 left here to put something together.
So one had to be a dead ball foul. It had to be. Because if there was personal foul on both sides, that should have done it from there. Here we go.
They say ball will be marked at the 35-yard line. With 1:06 left here. Most notably a Donovan Mormon back in. Now what is it going to be a 3-man front for Cleveland.
Here we go with that T formation offset to the right. Linebackers have got to slide. They are not.
McElroy, quick pass out to the near side, and he's going to be contacted right at the 35. So nowhere to go, no gain on the play. Second down now for the Patricians. Clock will continue to run with 45 seconds left.
Gandy did a great job defensively, man. He hog-tied him and got him right down, so no gain. That was beautiful.
McElroy now in the shotgun, one running back to each side. Actually, he'll have L.J. Rosa back there, stepping up in the pocket, fires down to his left. That's going to be incomplete. Cobras had a shot at it, but it's going to harmlessly fall to the grass. And
yeah, there were three Cobras back there, so
there'll be 19 seconds left here in the first half. Cleveland with a 10-6 lead. Cobras, though, lost the field goal as they got the encroachment penalty, got the first down, but then turned the ball over. Would have had a 13-6 lead going into the half, maybe. As we get the whistle for play.
It is down to 19 seconds.
McElroy in the shotgun. Graham to his right, twin receivers to the far side. Coach, I think they only got 10 players out there, though. Is McElroy going to roll to the far side? Going to be a holding call coming up against the Patricians. That one almost intercepted inside the 10-yard line, but an easy holding call coming up against the Youngstown Patricians. And we'll see if they're going to decline this, Coach.
They did. They already did it, Jim. They already said decline.
And coming off the right side of that Cleveland Cobra defense, had the leverage. You could see the easy hold.
Fourth down. That's exactly what I would have done. Now, Coach Noble probably would have said take the penalty and keep him backed up because.
I say for Youngstown, go for the field goal.
Which they could. Quick
52
pass.
yards should be well within the range, right?
Yeah, but I don't know how many timeouts. Probably none left. If you threw it down there and burned a timeout quickly, it's possible.
So McElroy will remain in the game at quarterback. Graham going to be to his right.
The ends have got to stay to his outside. Bottle him in. Do not let him get outside.
Bates to the far side. Marshall Mays now going to flip to the right here for a three-man receiver formation. McElroy stepping up in the pocket, looking downfield. Trying to get the angle. He's going to be brought down by Malik Gaddy. Flag's going to come in on a horse collar tackle, and that's going to be a first down. Only 3 seconds left, but it's going to give the Patricians another play.
And that's going to put them in good field position. So I'm going to say that should take them to about the maybe 20-yard line. I'm thinking, or further.
So the second call of the day for that one. Don't see a whole lot of horse collar tackles, but we've seen 2.
15-yard line, so what are we doing? And they brought the kicker in.
All right, so Harbaugh on for the field goal. This would be a 32-yard field goal. Carl Dale, excuse me, either Carl Dale or Red Widener the hold. I'm going to say Widener then. Looks like the name's longer. So Harbaugh, the right-footed kicker, kicking from the right hash. Waits for the snap, 3 seconds left. Snap is back. Kick is up, and it's going to be partially blocked. And it's going to be good. It just made it over the crossbar as time expires. And the Cobras will take a 10-9 lead into the locker room. And kicker stepping up today, getting it done here. Ben Lyons for the Cobras. Dave Harbaugh for the Youngstown Patricians. And one of the Lions field goals wiped out, though. Would have been a 13-9 lead going into the half. But again, the turnover after the penalty.
Well, that's the thing. That turnover, or the penalty on that right before the kick, put it 15 yards closer. Otherwise, I don't know if he'd have made that because he just merely made it over the crossbar.
Halftime here in North Jackson. Cleveland takes a 10-9 lead into the locker room. We'll step aside for a quick timeout. You are listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One network.
Timeout. Remember, we're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique. And in the pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers, and in the community comes together.
Your home for PAFL football is the
and the Ohio Interscholastic
Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Okay, men,
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
It's up to you. So what are you going to do? You're going to go grocery shopping.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Because that's what caregivers do. Who give up.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Be the best caregiver this world has
Your
ever
home
seen.
for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
This announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick, and proud
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
1 in 6. That little girl sitting alone at the playground, she can't play like the other kids.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks...
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Learning and having fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. The stations that are always ahead of the game. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio. Your home for PAFL football
here in
is
North
the
Jackson. Cleveland takes a 10-9 lead
Western
into the
Reserve
locker
Radio,
room.
Western Reserve Radio 2,
Like this,
and
it would be
City View
Youngstown Patricians.
Sportscast,
They would strike
Youngstown,
first.
Ohio.
After a 60-yard drive, they would get into the end zone on a 6-yard touchdown.
Your home for
run by
PAFL
McElroy.
football is the
Patricians, a 6-0
iMedia
lead. They did not
Network,
convert
Western
on the
Reserve
extra
Radio,
point.
Western Reserve Radio 2,
Cobras on
and
their
City
first
View
possession.
Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
2nd and 19, they would go 80 yards as Dave Slap Thompson would hit Matt Wise on the short pass, and when Matt
Your
Wise
home
doing
for
all the work as he
PAFL
gets
football
into the end
is
zone,
the
they convert on the
iMedia
extra
One
point. He gives the
Western
Cobras
Reserve
the
Radio,
7-6
Western Reserve
lead.
Radio 2, and City View
Also in the
Sportscast,
second quarter,
Youngstown,
Ben Lyons
Ohio.
had a 36-yard field goal for Cleveland, giving them a 10-6 lead. And then at the buzzer, Patricians
Your
hit a
home for
32-yard
PAFL
field
football
goal.
is the
And they cut the
iMedia One
Cobras
Network,
lead
Western
to 10.
Reserve Radio, Western
10-9.
Reserve Radio 2, and City View
If you joined us in
Sportscast,
pregame,
Youngstown,
today
Ohio.
was a special day for North Jackson here as the Youngstown Patricians.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network, Western
young man
Reserve
from
Radio,
North
Western
Jackson,
Reserve Radio 2, and City View
current football player
Sportscast,
and wrestler
Youngstown,
for
Ohio.
the Jackson Milton Blue Jays, Braden Greathouse, and Coach, we talked about the John Galbraith.
Your home for PAFL
Want to
football
support
is the
people like
iMedia
Braden
One
here is really
Network,
going through
Western
a tough
Reserve
time.
Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Kind of gave us an update on what's going on, but a nice thing here for both these teams to come out here and kind of put
Your
something
home for
together here.
PAFL football
Like that.
is the
Every penny counts.
iMedia One
Medical
Network,
expenses,
Western
they
Reserve
just don't
Radio,
go.
Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
To help a young man like that, especially a football player, wrestler, in our area, that's
Your home for
that's
PAFL football
for
is the
that to be
iMedia One Network,
family.
Western Reserve
Yep,
Radio,
proceeds from today's
Western
game will
Reserve
go
Radio 2,
to the
and
Greathouse
City View
family to help them out.
Sportscast,
Certainly
Youngstown,
they're deserving
Ohio.
of it. And I put a message out for the Cobras this week. Hey, if you see him, if he's feeling well enough to be in the
Your
game,
home for
say
PAFL
hi to
football
him.
is the iMedia One
look at him and
Network,
think, wow,
Western
you might
Reserve
miss an
Radio,
entire year of
Western
high school
Reserve
football.
Radio
Look at
2,
4
and
years.
City View
So a lot of that plays
Sportscast,
in your mind.
Youngstown,
Come out and
Ohio.
Get the support, watch some fun football. And so far, we've had a great game here today. And certainly this
Your home
is
for
one of
PAFL
those
football
opportunities
is the
for the
iMedia One
Patricians and the
Network,
PAFL
Western Reserve
to show they
Radio,
want to be part
Western
of the
Reserve
community,
Radio
they
2,
want to
and
support
City View
causes like this,
Sportscast,
worthy
Youngstown,
causes.
Ohio.
Absolutely, and that's how it should be. It's all about kids and community, and again.
Your home for
that's
PAFL football
wonderful.
is the
God bless.
iMedia One Network, Western Reserve
And Mark
Radio,
Means had
Western
an
Reserve
opportunity
Radio
to
2,
speak
and City View Sportscast,
with
Youngstown,
Braden's
Ohio.
mom, Katie, this week, and this is what she had to say about Braden's battle against B-cell leukemia.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Is Braden Greathouse's mom, who we're all here to support with today's game. Katie, thank you for taking a couple minutes to join us.
Thank you.
So can you start off by just updating everyone?
Last month's been a little bit hard for Braden. He is going through a high-dose methotrexate chemotherapy that has caused him to have mouth sores. So that's kind of a little bit of a struggle for him right now. But other than that, he's still in good spirit, just kind of taking it day by day, rolling with the punches.
Now, I saw on the Patricians post about today's fundraising game, they mentioned that he has B-cell leukemia. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is?
So it is a blood cancer. We found it right after Christmas. He actually had a mass in his hip. He had some hip pain for a while, and they did a bone biopsy. And the bone biopsy came back that it was B-cell leukemia and that he had this mass. And it just the leukemia cells were just running rampant through his blood system.
Can you tell us how you got involved with the Patricians in today's game that's hopefully helping raise a lot of funds for you and your family and for what Braden's going through?
I think it was basically Facebook and just kind of like mutual people in the community. And they've come out to anything that Braden's had. They contact me to check up on Braden, and they have been phenomenal. They have been one of Braden's biggest supporters everybody has on the team, from coaches and players just coming out and seeing Braden when little things are done in the community for him.
Now, I know he has a football background as well. How do you think that football background, the mental focus that it takes to play the game, has helped him with this new battle that he's involved in?
I think it's helped him a lot. With his football background and wrestling background, he has a lot of discipline and the mental capability of a child. You know, he was diagnosed at 16, and just the mental that the football and his other sports has taught him over the years, that he's been able to just go head on with this and have great spirits about it. I mean, he has his down days, but I mean, when you lose a game, sometimes you get tough on yourself too, and that's just kind of how he's rolled with it.
How has that community support been? I know, North Jackson is a small, close-knit community, and the support has gone not just within that community, but area-wide. How has that been, and how has that made, him and the family feel?
It's phenomenal. We've had a lot of support from, Jackson Milton businesses, also our original hometown, Newton Falls, Warren, Youngstown, just to people that his story has reached is phenomenal, and the love and support and the prayers and the good vibes that just the entire Trumbull and Mahoning County has shown Braden is just, it's heartwarming. It's amazing that, we have such a big support system that people that we don't even know, and we've met so many new people just through Braden's journey. It's phenomenal.
Can you tell us a little bit about Braden? What does he like to do for fun? If he's got some downtime where he doesn't have to worry about school, is it video games? What does he like to do?
Right now, obviously he can't play football, but it's video games, and we have a little basketball court at a church that he's been kind of going up when he has good days, and he'll shoot the basketball around, or in our back driveway he takes the basketball out there, or he'll play video games with his brothers. He has a little brother and an older brother, and I think that's been kind of the savior that, when he can't leave his room and's not feeling well, his brother's one room over, and you can hear them. They leave their doors open, and they play the games back and forth. And also his older brother, they get on the phone and they'll play the games together, just to because sometimes he can't get out and see people because of his white blood cell counts and stuff.
Well, we really appreciate you joining us here at halftime. Hopefully we have an opportunity to, kind of get the word out, raise some money for the family and everything that you guys are going through. And I just want to thank you for taking a few minutes to join me.
Thank you. I appreciate appreciate this. This is phenomenal. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
We're going to take another break. When we come back, we'll get ready for the third quarter here on Western Reserve Radio 2 and Sports.
Nina's Pierogi House is your home for the area's best variety of pierogies. Daily specials include the Polish platter, the Hungarian platter, stuffed cabbage, and halushki. Having a last-minute get-together? Lena's has you covered with a wide variety of frozen take-home pierogies and dumplings. Go to Facebook at Lena's Pierogi House to see the weekly lineup of available flavors for dine-in or carry-out. Catch the best at Lena's Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 20 North Main Street in Hubbard or call 234-254-8532.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Honorary Forest Ranger Betty White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear. Because for years, he's only said,
only you can prevent wildfires.
But there's a lot more to say. Like if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So keep the animals safe, especially the cute shirtless one. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Here's a fun fact for you. The average chameleon can point their eyes in 2 different directions. On the other hand, the average human can't. So unless you're a chameleon, there's absolutely no way you can focus on texting and driving at the same time. So don't do it, unless you're a chameleon.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Professional, fast, highly knowledgeable, easy to work with. These are real reviews by customers of Sandrock Concrete. For all your concrete block, brick, stone, stonework, and excavating needs, call Jerry Sandrock. For your free estimate at 330-506-0013. Sandrock Concrete is fully insured and ready to make your ideas a reality. Sandrock Concrete is a proud supporter and sponsor of Mahoning Valley High School football on Western Reserve Radio.
What grows in the forest? Trees? Sure. Know what else grows in the forest? Our imagination, our sense of wonder. And our family bonds grow too. Because when we disconnect from this and connect with this, we reconnect with each other and build family memories we will carry with us forever. The forest is closer than you think. Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. It's easy. Just put in your zip code to find family-friendly outdoor destinations near you. You'll also find guides to free activities, games, and amazing forest facts. Give the magic of the outdoors to your kids and reconnect with your family. Find a forest near you at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Are you tired of switching apps just to catch your favorite shows and live events? Say hello to the iMedia One Network app, your one-stop destination for streaming and everything that matters. From national sports to exclusive local content, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast are now all in one place, anytime, anywhere. Download the free iMedia One Network app on iOS and Android and unlock the future of sports audio in the palm of your hand. The iMedia One Network, your sports app in the Valley.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Halftime continues here in North Jackson. Cobras going to the locker room with a 10-9 lead over the Youngstown Patricians. Take a look at the scoring recap here, as it will be the Youngstown Patricians getting into the end zone first after a 60-yard drive. It will be McElroy into the end zone on a 6-yard touchdown run. That would give them a 6-0 lead. The Cobras, though, would get the ball, and after a loss of yards on the first play, a penalty put them back at 2nd and 19. It would be Dave Slap Thompson. A little bit of a touch on it out to Matt Wise. Wise would go 80 yards for the touchdown. Cleveland would convert on the extra point. It would give them the 7-6 lead. Also in the second quarter, Ben Lyons would hit a 36-yard field goal for the Cleveland Cobras, giving them the 10-6 lead. And not to be outdone, as time expired in the second quarter, it would be Dave Harbaugh on a 32-yard field goal that would close the gap to 10-9. Cobras will get the ball to start the second half. And the Cobras also will be home next week, as they will host the Cleveland Rams in Lakeview. That's going to be a 6:45 airtime, 7 o'clock kickoff as we get into week 7 of the PAFL playoffs, starting to determine the playoff scenarios here in the PAFL. First year back under Commissioner Jermaine Campbell. So far, so good here. It's been a great schedule here. Not a whole lot of wide scores there, blowouts, if you will. It's been a lot of parity here at the 3A and 2A level for the PAFL.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you can say parity, balance, whatever, and that's what I like to see. I hate when teams dominate, and then you go up there and you think, well, we're going to do the best we can. Scores are all over. This year, it's been a lot. Scores have been tighter, and they've done a great job as far as teams. And it's really equal as far as wins and losses here. So that's what I like to see. But this game's going to be big for Cleveland. They have got to win this game to be able to move on, because it's getting down to the nitty-gritty, and they got to be able to get these scores.
Yeah, the one interesting thing that I've watched as I've looked at this schedule, and that is the away teams seem to be winning as many games as the home team. Generally at this level, the home team would have the advantage, as in most levels of football, but more certainly in this one than others. And for the PAFL, this has been set up absolutely correctly here with the 3A level and the 2A level, and it's giving the viewers and the fans a really good set of games here that you want to watch till the fourth quarter here. We've had some low-scoring games, but they haven't been boring low-scoring games.
No, they've been tight games. This game so far, I mean, you're talking about a 10-9 game here, and I'll tell you what, it could have been Cobras could have went in there. If they go down there and score a couple of times, could have been a blowout. But instead, the Patricians battled back. So great game so far, and we got all zeros on the scoreboard, and we're getting ready to go here.
Cleveland will get the ball to start the third quarter here. Of course, the Cleveland Cobras, I believe, if I'm counting up the years that with COVID and whatnot, I believe they're in year 17, if I'm not mistaken, under owner Jesse Caldwell. Of course, the head coach is Adam Rogerson. The assistant head coach and defensive coordinator is Jamar Fleming. Special teams is Shane Glover. And the trainer, who has been here in several roles for many years, is Beth Betancourt. And for the Youngstown Patricians, kind of a new deal here, Coach. We wondered how this would take as far as the new name. And I'll tell you one thing they've done a great job with is the uniforms, paying homage to the Youngstown Patricians from the 1910s, 1920s. It's certainly taken a hold here in the Youngstown area. And right now, Cleveland and Youngstown putting on a good show.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, I like that we have a team here from the area. It's nice to see. Unfortunately, when we closed shop with the Scourge, we really didn't have much left, and then the Patricians came along, and I'll tell you what, I'm excited. I'm glad. We have to have football in our area, Jim. I mean, we have Mahoning Valley football, Trumbull County, Columbiana County. I mean, these are teams and schools that have been out there to put guys into college, whether it's Division III or Division AA, or as it was at one time, or Division I. And I mean, we have a good bunch here. Now, will we ever see those guys as much as we did before? Well, because of Youngstown and the outlying areas population, and that's the key.
No, and you're going to see a lot of local names here on this Youngstown Patricians roster, as is Cleveland when you look at their roster with players from Euclid and Cleveland Heights, and so for North Ridgeville, Keystone, Twinsburg. So there's certainly a local flavor to this that a lot of people from the area can get around whether you're in the Cleveland area or the Youngstown area.
Absolutely. Come and watch football, and this is good football. This isn't just backyard stuff.
So Harbaugh to kick this one off. Tyree Knight back there for the return. He'll come up to the 10. He'll field this and stay to the right, and he's going to be brought down at the 20-yard line, maybe the 25, depending on the angle here. I think that will be the 25-yard line. Great special teams play by the Patricians. It'll be the Cobras, 1st and 10 to start the third quarter here. And they have a 10-9 lead, the very slimmest of leads, so this is a big drive here to start the third quarter.
My big beef when I was a special teams coach, when you catch a ball on a punt or a kickoff, go forward, full speed, and keep going. Because these guys are coming down the field one step, and they're going to be right around you. This way, if you don't slow down, they're going to miss, and you could olay them. But unfortunately, he stopped in his shoes, and he got belted good.
Now, the right-footed kicker looked like that ball might have been heading towards the sideline, but Tyree Knight coming up to field it. Cobras 1st and 10 here with the 10-9 lead over the hosting Youngstown Patricians. So Slater, the tight end, to the left side this time. Robinson will be in the backfield as a running back, as well as T.J. Johnson. Slap Thompson in the pistol, single receiver to the far side. That'll be Matt Wise. Wise with an 80-yard touchdown earlier. Thompson, he'll pitch just one out. He'll get it to Robinson. Robinson cutting up field. He'll pick up some yards. That'll bring up second down for Cleveland. Excuse me, and I'll bring up third down. That's it, second down. Excuse me. I'll get my numbers right here.
It's the heat, Jim. It's the heat.
The heat, again, not too bad up here. If you get kick on 2 or 3 fans, you're doing well.
yeah.
It's somewhat humid out here, but the guys seem to be handling both very well on both sides. I see Beth down here very busy, trying to keep everybody kind of cooled down as best she can. That's not an easy task here on an 87-degree day.
Wearing 30 pounds of equipment and a helmet to keep that heat in.
So pistol formation again. Thompson in with Robinson to his rear, Johnson to his right. Hand it off to the inside. Johnson going to drop his shoulder. He'll pick up a couple 3 yards, and he'll be just short of a first down. It's going to bring up third, and we'll call it 2. Very manageable situation for Cleveland.
Yeah, they look like they've come out right now, and they're running right at them. So you got about third and about 2.5, 3 yards. So manageable, of course, but get it done now. Get this first. Keep the drive alive, because that's what you need to do.
13:35 left here on the clock, third quarter. If you're just joining us here on Western Reserve Radio. Cleveland coming off the win 2 weeks ago against the Mid-Ohio Patriots. Thompson waiting for the snap. Hard count. He'll hand it off. He can pitch to the outside, and it'll be Robinson, but he'll be hemmed up by a host of Patricians. And he looks like he's going to be short. And we have a flag on this side.
Offsides.
So they're going to say the Patricians are going to call them for encroachment. That will give Cleveland enough for the first down, and Dave Thompson with the hard count again gets them.
Yeah, and Pringle isn't happy from the Patricians.
Dave hasn't been happy about one call here today. He's been politicking with these officials as best he can. The veteran player from around the area, he's been doing this for at least 10 years that we know of.
Yeah, he's with us.
So we'll give him a couple years before that. Back to the pistol is Thompson. Thompson, quick pass out to the far side. That'll be D'Angelo Thompson on the catch. He'll be hemmed up on the sideline. Isaac Coker leading the charge on that. Another familiar name to us.
Yep.
The brother of Dave Pringle. Talking about his nieces and nephews now. I told him, he said, I don't have any kids just yet. You can enjoy these young ones here. And then they go home with Dave.
There you go. Absolutely.
So,
they're two great players for us. I want to tell you something. The guys that we coached over those years, what great guys. Very coachable. You tell them something, even though they're men, boy, they listened, and that's just how it was.
Well, resulting in a championship win there, August of 2015. Big win over the River City Ravens. There you go, some history there. This is Thompson now back to the pistol formation first. Oh. Thompson, hand off to Johnson. Johnson driving his legs, spinning around. He'll make it past the 40. He'll give him maybe the 41. Third down now coming up for Cleveland. 12:16 left on the clock here in the third frame.
They seem like they're running the ball in the middle, and they're trying to wear out that defensive front. But I'll tell you what, I'll give them credit. They're gang tackling and doing what they got to do.
Yeah, one of the strengths of the Patricians has been that front four, that rotation they had in there. And when you have that kind of depth in that area, that really helps in this kind of heat.
Oh, absolutely. If you can bring four guys in and take them out and then four guys in, out, I mean, it's just constant moving them, and you get that breather down, especially when you got an offensive line that's staying in there and just go, go, go.
Pistol formation again. Slater will be the tight end to the left. D'Angelo Thompson lining up as a wing to the left of Dave Thompson. Single receiver to the far side. That'll be Matt Wise. D'Angelo Thompson now going to go in motion. He'll set. Maybe try to draw a little bit off as Slap will step back, fires over the middle through the hands of Matt Wise. And it'll bring up fourth down now for Cleveland. Jeff Cooper Ryder will come on to punt this one away.
And he had him. I'll tell you what, that slant was going. He catches that ball. That's a very good possibility. He could have house that because he is fast as lightning.
Wise already with the touchdown today. We saw what he can do when he gets some open field. It was about maybe a 10-yard pass that Thompson threw to him for that touchdown, and he did the rest of the work.
Absolutely, he did.
So Cooper Ryder on to punt this one away. Again, the former Toledo Rocket. Gaddy will be in the backfield with him as well. 11:13 left here, third quarter. We'll be back in Lakewood next week. 7 o'clock kickoff as the Cobras host the 3A Cleveland Rams. So a little crosstown rivalry next week here from Lakewood.
There we go.
We'll go on the air just about 6:45. Cooper Ryder with a little bit of a shorter stance, just about 9 yards. As he's going to take this ball himself, kind of a rugby type thing. Cuts back and kicks it away, but it's going to take a Patricians bounce to about the 29-yard line, and that's where Youngstown will take over 1st and 10. And I thought he was going to try to run it, Coach. He went to the left.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get that.
But was able to get this one away. And it's becoming, we've seen more and more that rugby-style kick.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was the intention, but certainly.
Well, I think he saw somebody coming, and they were at a bad angle, so he just kind of took a step forward. They ran past him, and he was able to punt it.
So I'll mark this. We'll call it the 28-yard line, 1st and 10. For the Patricians, Cleveland with the 10-9 lead. Third quarter action here. Cleveland starting the quarter off with the ball. A little bit of a delay here. The officials have been kind of lenient with the play clock. They're going to send one player off.
Well, they broke the huddle with 12, so that should have been a penalty, but.
Yeah, Tyler Samio is out. Have a new quarterback in there for the Patricians. Upfield, working it past the 40, looking to get to midfield, and he'll be brought down just short of the 50-yard line. Miguel Burgess at the quarterback position, calling his own number.
We got a flag.
And so an illegal shift coming up against the Patricians. I didn't see that one, Coach, to be quite honest.
Yeah, it must have been somebody down here. To be honest with you, I did not see anybody in the middle jump, so I have no idea.
So what was a big game will be wiped out by the illegal shift penalty. .51 left here at third quarter. Cobras with a 10-9 lead. Break for the Cobras. Some size on the line there. Working into the middle is Arthur Green. Ambrose McCorney out there as well.
I think they're arguing about the motion.
No, I don't know if they're going to change their mind or not, but
no.
So the ball was originally at the 28-yard line, so this will be right around the 22-23. Again, we're only marked about every 5 yards, so we're not real sure what they're going to call it, but we know they need to get to about the 43 for a first down. Excuse me, 38 for a first down. Bates, the receiver, to the far side now. That's going to be McElroy back at the quarterback position, I believe. They're going to go heavy to the right again, two wings. Single receiver to the near side, single receiver to the far side. Handoff on the reverse. And he's going to be hemmed up at the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go on that, no gain. Second down there for Graham as he tried to cut up field, but too many green jerseys.
Yeah, the linemen are complaining. They think that they had an alley for him, but there was some scrapers over there that I'll tell you what, he cuts back. He's going to get unloaded on.
So they'll mark the ball just about at the line of scrimmage. Not much gain on that. No plus, no minus. 9:43 left here, third quarter. Close game here. Cleveland with a 10-9 lead. We'll be back in Cleveland next week or in Lakewood. Cobras and the Rams with a 7 o'clock kickoff. So single receiver to the near side this time. We'll go heavy to the left. Oh, excuse me. That'll be to the right there. Again, this three-back. We call it the T formation. Schoolboy, and we had some motion, but no call on it. McElroy looking to cut back, under pressure. Can't get the angle. He's going to have to go back to the play side. And we're going to get a flag on a blindside block, I believe. And he'll be brought down near the 21-22-yard line. No loss on the original play, but we'll see what the flag is. And we're going to have a second flag. One's going to be a live ball foul. The second one is going to be a dead ball foul on the Patrician sideline. And we'll see how this is going to play out.
Got to grab him, get him out of there. There you go. That's the best way. Calm him down.
So we'll try to get the call from our officials as we a little tussle on the Patrician sideline. And as our referee trying to blow the whistle and show him, hey, we got a flag back here.
So that should be 30 yards.
Well, depending on who it's on, we know there's going to be one against the Patricians. I believe that's going to be a blindside block. Now, what happened on the far side after the whistle will be the question. So personal foul coming up against Cleveland. Personal foul against Youngstown. They will offset. Illegal block in the back against the Patricians. They will enforce that one. They're going to say it's an illegal block in the back, but I believe I thought that was going to be a blindside block.
Here or there, it's still 15 yards, so they're going to, however they call it.
The officials trying to get from the sideline what Cleveland wants to do with this.
Well, that should be 15 yards going that way, so that'll put them, well, it'll be half the distance.
Well, they're going to mark the ball at the 10. So the Patricians probably want to have their huddle on the other side of the ball. All right, so Youngstown has to get to about a 34-yard, well, about the 38-yard line, 37, depending on how you want to call it. I converted earlier on a big play like this. So from the 10-yard line, McElroy back to pass, fire sidearm, caught. There the 25, and they're going to work it all the way back past the 30, down near the 33-yard line, and it's going to be a much more manageable third down now for the Patricians.
Yeah, you got 3rd and 3. About 3rd and 3. They're in the hurry up.
Patricians going right back to the line. McElroy in the shotgun. Graham to his right. They'll send Tyree Johnson in motion from right to left. Handoff up the middle, and he's going to be brought down, and it's going to be close. Looks like it's going to be slightly short of the first down. So 4th and 1 for the Patricians, and decision time. As Donovan Mormon needs a little help getting up. He's a big man there. He's fighting gravity. 8:20 left here in the third quarter. And it looks like they're going to go with it. Graham in the backfield with McElroy at quarterback. Twin receivers to the near side. That'll be Johnson again in motion from right to left. McElroy rolling to the near side under pressure. St. Clair chasing him down. He'll throw it, and it's going to be caught. Is it incomplete? He might have had the progress. And it's going to be up to the line judge on the other side. They're going to mark it. And the best thing they could probably do right now is mark it and measure it. And they're going to say first down, Patricians.
And you know what, Jim? I watched that play the whole way. It was the first down. It was a good call. Where he caught the ball is exactly where they're setting it, and he got knocked back. It's where the progression stopped.
So we're going to get a timeout here, and it looks like we're going to have a measurement.
No.
And it's going to be an official's timeout here. 7:18 left here, third quarter. Keep it right here. Well, I'm sure the coaches want to see, just to make sure. By some chance, that is short. That would be a turnover on downs. But it looked like he had a forward progress being pushed before being pushed back.
I could tell you right how the official's walking and where the chain is. There's no way that that's going to stretch past that ball.
All right. So
there it is.
All right, head coach Adam Rogerson wanted the measurement. They'll give it to him. And he got it by about 3/4 of a yard, almost a full yard. So the Youngstown Patrician drive will continue with 7:18 left here, third quarter.
I don't understand how this coach is on the field constantly. I don't understand why they let this happen.
And we've seen this the last several weeks.
Yeah, and there's no reason for that. That should be 15 yards going the other way.
So first down for the Youngstown Patricians, just short of the 40-yard line. 7:09 left here. We'll begin to run the clock here shortly. Cobras with a 10-9 lead. McElroy in the shotgun. Looks like he'll have Eaton to his right this time. Eaton, running back-wise, a little bit shorter, a little bit more compact.
I'll tell you what, though, runs hard. Man, he runs hard.
McElroy planting his feet under pressure, throws it out to Eaton. Eaton trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. He does just that, and it'll bring up 2nd and 10 now for Youngstown. And for the Patricians, they do a good job of extending that play, but the Cobras have been tenacious here defensively.
Well, the end, he came off. You know, he had good view. The quarterback kept him to the inside, so he couldn't cut back, and he was able to bring him down.
2nd down now for the Patricians. They'll call the play from back at the quarterback position. Eaton out to the right of McElroy. 3 receivers to the near side. Patricians moving left to right on your devices. McElroy waiting for the snap. Looking down out to his left. Under pressure, Taylor going to hit his hand with it, almost picked off, went up in the air, was tipped. And Deontay McDonald had an opportunity to pick that one up, but it was kind of the proverbial wounded duck. And McElroy coming up a little bit slow there. Abe Taylor, much taller, much heavier than McElroy, reached over and knocked that ball away.
Yeah, well, he was right on him. As soon as he followed through, he was able to stop his follow through, and it fluttered like a butterfly, may I say.
Easy to say.
Matt Craven's shaking his head.
Sounds like you just had your hard drive went bad. Or
it was maybe a little bit of burp
a stroke
in there
sounds like on air.
Wow. Holy mackerel.
5:52 left here, third quarter. Patricians now 3rd and 10. McElroy going to stay in there with Graham to his right. Twin receivers to the near side.
I just watched something I haven't seen forever. Center picked the ball up and had it by his chest. They could have went after him.
Pressure being shown by Cleveland. Pass, back to pass, McElroy rolling out to the far side. Secondary tying everybody up. McElroy has some room, trying to beat Gaddy on the angle, and he'll push him out of bounds. It's going to be 4th down, as we're going to have a flag now.
Here we go.
All the action running into the Cleveland sideline.
Play football.
And we're going to have a second flag coming in from the far side. So multiple flags coming out here. We'll see again if this is going to offset.
But I think it was just
head coach Tom Harris coming over to try to grab some of his guys, and they will head back to their respective sidelines. So we'll see what we have here.
This is just they got to calm down and play football.
Great defensive play by the Cobras, a holding by the Patricians, and personal foul against the Cobras. Again, those will offset. So it is still going to be 4th down, and we'll call it maybe 7. So Dave Harbaugh will come on to punt this one away for the Patricians. 5:38 left here, third quarter. Landon Bates, the long snapper for Youngstown. Tyree Knight will come in to return. Robert Littlejohn will split the difference. He'll be the protector for Tyree Knight. Patricians having a personnel issue here. I only see 4 on the line. All right, so we got 5 there. 1 to the outside. So you have to watch the gunner to the outside there, Coach, as Harbaugh waits for the snap. Landon Bates, good snap, gets it back to him. He'll get this one away, and Knight going to let this one roll, and it's going to roll to his left, and he'll let it go. And that's where Cleveland will take over. 1st and 10, would say inside the 15-yard line, so a little bit harder to see from this angle. Again, rolling marked every 5 yards, so we're kind of guessing.
Right.
Or as we'll call it, close enough. 4:54 left here, and what seems like it's been a very long period here in the third quarter.
Well, it has, because there's been a lot of pushing, shoveling, and scuffling. Let's play football. This is the only thing that and again, I know, you want to win. It's getting near the end of the season. Let's play football, okay? Do it with your legs, not with your mouth. He hated that. Hated it.
Very tight game right now. Cobras with a 10-9 lead. And they're going to mark this ball. I'm going to say the 15-yard line is what we're looking at. After this play, we'll give you a rundown of the schedule here in the PAFL this week after the 4th of July break. Slap Thompson in the shotgun. Johnson to his left. 2 receivers to the near side. Matt Wise will be the single receiver to the far side. He'll send T.J. Johnson out to the right. He'll line up offset. Thompson. Empty backfield now. Back to pass. Looking out to his right. Pump fakes. Has nobody under pressure. Tried to toss it out to Johnson. Went over his head and out of bounds. Some pressure being applied by Tavon Parchman.
That was kind of a good miss. He had pressure, and everybody was covered, so.
Other games from around the PAFL today, Coach. The Glass City Tigers will travel to Norton to take on the Cuyahoga Falls Rapids. The Erie Express and the Steel City Bobcats will go at it. That's always a good one. But West Virginia Leviathan and the Tri-County Rams. The Ohio Broncos travel to Mount Vernon to take on the Mid-Ohio Patriots. Michigan Hurricanes taking on the Columbus Fire. And to round it out, it will be the Beaver County Arctic Bengals taking on the Portsmouth Lions. Full day of PAFL action here as Thompson. Quick pass out to the far side. D'Angelo Thompson with the reception. He'll fight forward. He will pick up a couple yards here. He'll get past the 20 down, maybe to the 21-yard line. Have to get to the 25 for the first down.
That looked like a good play. I thought he got further than that. All right, with 3rd and 5, move along 4.5.
You can see him slipping a little bit on this grass. Not used to playing on a natural surface. You know, these shoes built mainly nowadays for the turf.
Right.
But you can see a little bit different here. I remember when it was when turf was the unique thing, and now grass is the exception to the rule.
Extraordinary.
Yep. Johnson in the shotgun. Or excuse me, Thompson in the shotgun. Johnson to his right. Twin receivers to the near side. Movement up front.
There we go.
We'll get a flag, and are they going to say, and Dave Pringle trying again to politic with the head linesman, and they're going to assess 5 against the Youngstown Patricians.
But once he broke the line of scrimmage, our lineman dropped back. That's automatic. That's a flag.
So Dave Pringle basically just begging for a break at this point. Sooner or later, he's going to get one. I mean, he's going to argue one. Slow snap, ball on the ground, picked up by Johnson, and wrapped up. May have lost a yard or two on the play. Walt Ali on the tackle. It'll bring up 2nd down now for Cleveland. And again, we're seeing this ball come back a little bit low. So you wonder, is there some moisture, some sweat setting in those gloves and those hands?
No doubt. That's, you got to ask for a towel. That center's got to do something.
Yeah, high humidity here in northeastern Ohio. And one thing I always carried that towel, and I would just throw it back to the running back, to get it away from me. But I was always concerned that those hands were going to be too wet.
Sure.
So Thompson in the shotgun, Johnson in his left, twin receivers to the near side. Tyree Knight will be the slot. Twin receivers to the far side. 2:56 left here, 3rd quarter. Tyree Knight in motion from left to right. Low snap again. Thompson firing out. It's going to be overthrown. Intended for D'Angelo Thompson. And it's going to bring up 3rd down now for Cleveland. And some opportunity plays are developing there. You just got to execute.
Yeah, I tell you what, he's had some open people. He is overthrown. That's about the 3rd or 4th one in this game that he's overthrown. He's got to calm down a little bit. I think he's getting a little antsy because of the rush. He's just got to believe in his lineman, and he's just got to, if he has to, step up, plant your foot, and get it there. And obviously he's releasing it too early, and that's why she's floating on him.
Well, C.J. Hale, their outside receiver to our near side now. 3 receivers to the far side. 2:47 left here, 3rd quarter. Hard count again by Thompson. Thompson trying to get another free 5 yards on 3rd and 10. Good snap this time. Thompson back to pass, fires down the sideline, looks for Matt Wise. He brings it in at the 48-yard line. A first down for Matt Wise, and
that's going up between 2 defenders and just out jumping them at the top and pulling it down. Outstanding catch.
So 3rd and 10. They get plenty for the first down. The Cobra drive will continue. Clock will continue to roll as well. 2:17 left here, 3rd frame. C.J. Hale, the outside receiver to our near side again. They'll go 3 receivers to the narrow side. Thompson in the shotgun. T.J. Johnson remaining at running back. So a little bit of a delay here as Tyree Knight comes in for a last-minute thing. He'll pass it along to D'Angelo Thompson. Gonna have to watch the back judge here. Time's got to be winding down. Thompson taking it himself. Had nowhere to go. Too much pressure. And he might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 2nd and 10 for Cleveland. Took a lot of time for that play, Coach, but not much out of it.
No, absolutely nothing. I don't know what they were looking at. I don't know if they were looking at the quick slant, and I think that's what he was trying to get. So we have, I believe, a timeout.
Cleveland's going to take their first time out of the half. 1:31 left here, third quarter. Cobras with a 10-9 lead will step aside for a timeout. You're listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One network.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local events. Tune in and be part of their live weekly shows, as well as the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the PAFL. Find them on westernreserveradio.com, tune in, and the Live 365 app to be part of the area's conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio or on Twitter at WR_radio.
The stations that are always ahead of the game. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast. Youngstown, Ohio.
Well, we're not sure if there was a timeout taken or not, but the Cobras remained in their huddle. As it'll be now C.J. Hale again, a single receiver to the near side. Thompson in the shotgun. He'll give it to Johnson up the middle with some room to run. He'll get past midfield and be brought down near the 48-yard line. They have to get to the 44 for a first down.
So you got a long, guys, you got 4 yards on that, 3rd and 4. Now we got a timeout. And I don't know who called. Okay, they called the timeout.
The Patricians are going to take a timeout. All right, we'll keep it right here as we just took a timeout thinking the Cobras took one. So, some confusion here a little bit as the Cobras still maintain a 1-point lead with 1:18 left here at third quarter, Coach. And maybe you see a little bit maybe fatigue setting in, but it's definitely some of the sweat. As the ball handling's gotten a little bit tougher here, for a day that it's not raining. The one thing you have to worry about is that those gloves getting wet and the hands being wet.
Well, it's just everything. We're up here, and I don't know about you, Jim, but you don't wear a fur coat like I do, and it's just sweating like crazy up here in the booth. So with all that equipment on and all that, it's just crazy.
A great atmosphere here in North Jackson, home of the Jackson Milton Blue Jays, also home of Week 6 of the PAFL. Was it Week 7? Yeah, we're Week 7. I'm sorry. 6, 7, close enough. 2 games left for the Cleveland Cobras. I'm going to take on the Cleveland Rams next week, and they will wrap it up in Lakewood again in 2 weeks against this very same Youngstown Patricians team.
There's a lot of arguing over here, or talking. I don't want to say arguing. And Cobras got to settle down. They've got a drive going. They're getting first downs. Just got to calm down a bit.
So ball at the 48-yard line. We'll get the whistle for play. 1:18 left, third quarter. 3rd and about 4. As Thompson now in the shotgun. C.J. Hale. Deontay McDonald, the receivers to the near side. I believe that's going to be D. Handoff straight up the middle. Johnson going to make a downfield pass of 40, but a flag on the play. And I believe we're going to have a hold coming up against Cleveland. Indeed, that's going to be the case. So the first down run will be wiped out. And Cleveland will have to do it again from 10 yards back.
That one hurt.
Yeah, T.J. Johnson doing a good job there, finding the hole, getting downfield. And
now you got 3rd and 11.
The officials throwing down the dirty laundry. So they'll mark the ball at the 45-yard line. Cleveland will have to get to the 44-yard line on the Youngstown side. Robinson in the backfield now to the right of Thompson. Twin receivers to each side. Under a minute to play here, third quarter. Cobras with a 10-9 lead. Thompson back to pass. Shoulder pick.
There it is.
And he's got McDonald open. And he's gone. Has one man to beat. And into the end zone. Cleveland gets into the end zone. 65-yard touchdown pass. And there's a flag on the play, and I believe we're going to have some excessive celebration.
No, I don't think that's what it is. He threw his helmet. The defender threw his helmet, and he's pointing right now. He threw his helmet. He needs to, unfortunately, he needs to be ejected. Yep.
So just to make sure, I believe that was Deontay McDonald. Again, we have a lot of double numbers and things like that. So we'll give him credit for 65 yards. Third quarter, 39 seconds left. They slap Thompson to Deontay McDonald.
Can't lose your head, and I see it's a lot of emotion going in here, and they've just got to cool down.
So Ben Lyons on for the extra point. CJ Hale to hold. Snap is back, kick is up, and it is perfect. 39 seconds left here, third quarter. Cleveland gets into the end zone. They extend their lead. It's 17-9. We'll step aside for a quick timeout. You're listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on the iMedia One Network and the iMedia One Network app. Are you tired of switching apps just to catch your favorite shows and live events? Say hello to the iMedia One Network app, your one-stop destination for streaming and everything that matters. From national sports to exclusive local content, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast are now all in one place, anytime, anywhere. Download the free iMedia One Network app on iOS and Android and unlock the future of sports audio in the palm of your hand. The iMedia One Network, your sports app in the Valley.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
.39 seconds left here, third quarter. Cleveland with the 17-9 lead by way of a 65-yard touchdown pass from Dave Thompson to Deontay McDonald. McDonald, one of the two-way players here, listed two-way players anyway, and did a nice job just finding that seam coach and then turned on the Jets.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it's funny because Patricians do a great job, and then they seem to slip out and break down with that long ball, and it's killed them in this game.
Williams and Eaton back to return for the Patricians. Ben Lyons to kick this one off. Lyons making his 2025 debut. And this one going to be an end-over-end kick. It'll be a little bit shorter, fielded at the 15-yard line. Brought upfield by the Patricians. He'll get to the outside and work his way just short of the 35-yard line. He'll give maybe the 33. D'Angelo Thompson on the tackle for the Cobras. So far, so good here, third quarter. Started out a little bit slow on that first drive, Coach, after the Cobras started with the ball, but since then, moments of sloppiness, but when the plays have been good, they've been really good.
Right. They just have to be careful, that's all.
Laquan Turner making his way onto the field. He'll be the corner on the far side. Oh, excuse me, he'll be to the inside. He'll be the fifth linebacker there.
Oh, they're going with the three-man front.
Yeah, Lightfoot, Picorni, and Barrico. Actually, it's going to be Albert Picorni, not Ambrose. Two Picornis on here. Ambrose, the former, or we'll call him the U.S. Marine. You're never a former Marine.
There you go.
Ask Coach Noble. So McElroy back into the game here.
Jarhead.
Eaton to his right. Twin receivers to each side. McElroy, three-step drop, fires over the middle. It's going to be caught by Eaton. He's going to be wrapped up by Robert Littlejohn. Littlejohn snuffed that out. And we talk about how he's built all the time, and there was no way Eaton was getting away from him.
He was way outside, playing outside linebacker. He come around. He read that, saw exactly what was going with that screen. He got behind those guys. The catch was made, and boom, he unloaded.
So the ball at the 35-yard line actually picked up 2 yards on the play, maybe 3.
That's it.
As we will come to the end of the third quarter here in North Jackson, Cobras will go to the fourth quarter with a 17-9 lead over the Youngstown Patricians. We'll step aside for a break. You are listening to Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One Network. We're back right after this.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier. Then make sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
The stations that are always ahead of the game. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast. Youngstown, Ohio.
We'll flip sides of the field as we start the fourth quarter. Cleveland with a 17-9 lead over the Youngstown Patricians. They just announced the 50-50 raffle here. It will benefit Braden Greathouse, and I think about 10 people just claimed they won it.
Jim, I was close. I was only 300 numbers off.
I think the entire Cleveland sideline turned around, waved their hand, said, "That's me."
Well, I just want to tell you, I already had it in my mind. If I would have won that, I would have been more happy. I would donate it back.
Matt said you donate to him. He said he's not non-profit. He's just no profit. As we enter the fourth quarter here. Overcast skies now. Not really a threat of rain, but actually kind of taking the edge off without that sun directly on top of you. But we have a delay here for whatever reason. Patrician's going to go back to their offensive huddle.
All right, basket number 3, Maria K. Basket 134899.
So they'll mark the ball at the 35. I don't know what the delay here is, Coach. I mean, it was
they're calling the raffles.
All right. Well, I will guarantee that. Well, maybe the players want to come up to the press box to get their money. I don't know. Again, great day here in North Jackson for a great cause.
Number 5.
All for the support of Braden Greathouse, the football player and wrestler from Jackson Milton High School, right here, where the Youngstown Patricians call home.
Number 6.
Trying to see if Dave Pringle. So Coach Adam Rogerson come over and yelled up and said, "You're lucky I'm not mic'd up today." You know what? It was an idea, maybe just a bad one.
Maybe we should not have done that. Thank you, Lord.
All right, so thank goodness we didn't have the right chord.
Guys got to work on your handwriting. 134888. You won basket number 7.
And we got an extended pause here as they go through some of these numbers.
Number 8.
And, all right. So, again, this is part of the benefit for Braden, and it's caused a pause in the game, which has caused a little unhappiness on the Cleveland sideline.
They should have did this at halftime.
And last, number 11.
Slap Thompson trying to figure it out himself. Marvin Germany, veteran of the Cleveland Cobras, sitting in a fold-out chair. Now that right there is veteranship at its best. Sitting in his fold-out chair, trying to stay out of the sun, trying to save himself for the big play.
I guess. All right, here we go.
All right, so we're back to football here as we enter the fourth quarter. And can't be angry over a great cause here as McElroy will be in the shotgun. I believe that's going to be Eaton to his left, twin receivers to the near side. 2nd and 9, maybe 2nd and 8. McElroy rolling out to the far side, fires downfield, looking for a wide open receiver, could not get to him. Nico St. Clair on the coverage, Tyree Johnson, the intended receiver, and I'll tell you right now, that's quite the arm there on Corey McElroy.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was great coverage, too, because the DB was looking back for that ball, and he was step for step. That's what they should be doing and how they're playing it.
Abe Taylor's completely given up on drinking out of cups. He's just drank out of the cooler. Picked up the cooler and drank out of it like it was like it was a Gatorade bottle.
Yeah, well, I don't blame him.
Things you see on the sideline, Coach. The entertainment is endless.
I'd give him $5 to drink out of that right now. I can tell you that. Whew.
All right. So 3rd and about, we'll call it 8. McElroy in the shotgun. He'll send Johnson in motion from right to left. Back to pass, looking out to his left. He'll roll. Sets his feet. Little John putting some pressure on. He'll roll back to the far side. Throwing it out into the flats, intended for Eaton. It's going to go over his head and into the sideline and bring up 4th down for the Youngstown Patricians. 14:43 left here in the quarter. And, Coach, only down by 8. Long way to go here, and for the Patricians, I don't think there's a whole lot of time to panic here.
No, but don't even think about this. You got to punt this ball. You sure as heck do not want to give them this field position here. I wouldn't. Well, I don't know. They're coming out. Wow.
We'll see if they'll go for the old pooch kick there, Coach.
Well, if it ain't a pooching.
Tyree Knight going to head back to the sideline. Terrell Lively going to head back to the field.
Maybe he'll quick kick it. Who knows? I'll tell you what, that's taking some chances here.
Well, we got Deontay McDonald at safety for Cleveland. He could certainly drop back. And we'll see if they take a timeout. Maybe they don't get the look they want. See if they'll take the timeout and punt this one away, as they will move Graham from the right side to the left side of McElroy. They're going to look around here. 4th down and 8. 14:43 left. Clock stop. McElroy waiting for the snap. Indeed, they're going to run the play. McElroy running to the near side. Little John cutting off his angle. He'll fire out to the flat. It's going to be cut by Youngstown past the 50 and out of bounds inside the 30 near the 28-yard line. Landon Bates on the reception. McElroy extending the play. Just found Bates hanging out by the Patrician sideline.
Absolutely. Linebacker needed to pick that up. He was not there, and he found him.
So a great job by the Cleveland secondary, but eventually it's going to break down.
Yeah, he had too much time. Somebody's going to squeak out.
So 1st and 10 for the Patricians. They're going to say the 26, I believe-ish. Clock running with just under 14 minutes to play in the game. Cleveland with a 17-9 lead. McElroy in the shotgun. Graham to his left. Twin receivers to the near side as well to the far side. McElroy rolling to the near side. He'll overthrow the head of Graham in the flats. It'll bring up 2nd and 10 for Youngstown.
That would not have been good. If he caught that, wow, he had some daylight. He just overthrown. That's what happens, though, when you drift. Instead of attacking the line of 10 million times, when you're running to the left, you've got to turn it up, attack, get the shoulder square, and throw it. And the receiver, and lead the receiver. You can't keep drifting because that's what happens. You overthrow them or go wide.
Youngstown really likes these passes to the flats. And you wonder sooner or later if they're not going to read that. Maybe gamble on a play there, meaning Cleveland.
Yeah.
Laquan Turner going to be to the near side here. You'll have to keep an eye on the back out of the backfield. Federer there as well. Eaton in the backfield. Looking at it, under pressure. Federer from behind is going to wrap him up and bring him down. Matt Federer with the sack will bring him down, and it's going to be 3rd and long for the Youngstown Patricians. See where they mark the ball at. I believe it's going to be at the 30 or 31. So we'll call it a loss of 5. McElroy getting up a little slow.
I think he's going to look for his head, Jim, because I thought he took his head right off.
Yeah,
now, he's got to come off unless they burn a timeout. He was hurt.
Well, he's trying to adjust himself, make sure his neck is okay. Clock continues to run, just about 13 minutes left here in the game.
He's got to come out. That's an injury.
Big defensive play by Matt Federer.
No, I guess they're going to let him play on. I'm kind of shocked, but
Youngstown,
what do I know?
Youngstown will have to get to the 16-yard line for a first down. I guess we can call this around the 33. 32 and a half. Looks like it's split. All right, close enough. So Landon Bates, the outside receiver here on the Twins side. And we're going to get a whistle. And Cleveland is going to take a timeout. 12:25 left here in the game. Cobras with a 17-9 lead will step aside for a quick timeout. You are listening to PAFL Football here on Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One Network. We're back after this.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
The stations that are always ahead of the game. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast. Youngstown, Ohio.
Third and long for the Patricians. They'll mark the ball at the 33-yard line. They'll have to get to the Cleveland 16 for a first down. We'll clear up the mess we have with the timeout here, as they were concerned about McElroy not going out for a play. However, the official said they burned a timeout. They obviously just took, I guess, what the NFL would call a 30-second timeout. So then Cleveland burned a timeout because they wanted to talk to the coach, I believe. And we're going to have some motion, and it's going to be a false start coming up against the Youngstown Patricians. That will knock them back 5 more. So we'll be right around the 37, 38-yard line. And again, they will have to get to the 16 on the Cleveland side for the first down. 11:48 as the clock will continue to run now. Well, again, I thought it was exactly between the 30 and 35. Now it's not quite exactly between the 35 and 40. Okay. I don't know. It's grass. It's hard. McElroy back to pass, looking out to his left, under pressure. Federer coming in. Abe Taylor putting pressure on, and Littlejohn gets his second sack of the day. Robert Littlejohn, who is really turned it on here late second quarter till now, Coach. Wow.
The nice thing is he broke down, kept himself square, and he was good.
So the Patricians continue.
Hey, little guy.
Patricians continue.
Tell him to get some ice on him.
Patricians continue to lose yards that are going in the wrong direction. As Joe Barrico will come onto the field. And I think they're going to punt this one, Coach.
You think?
I think Dave Harbaugh is going to come in.
But let's be careful. Let's catch the ball and do something. Or
Jim Moody making his way to the field. Is that who that is?
Should we chant Moody?
That's him.
If you know him by his alter ego, Andrew Moody. So on the roster, they have him listed as Andrew Moody, but we know him better as Jim Moody.
No, Mr. Moody.
In the witness protection program. He'll come in as a protector for Dave Harbaugh. Good snap back to Harbaugh. He'll get rid of this one. Good high kick as Tyree Knight will be the return. It's going to be actually picked up out near the 10-yard line. Knight,
that's all right,
was back at the goal line, and this one was picked up by Malik Gaddy. So a good short punt directional by Dave Harbaugh is going to pin the Cobras back with 9:58 left in the game, but the Jim Moody effect maybe.
Yeah.
Or the Andrew Moody effect, depending on what
Moody.
ego he's going with.
Smallest guy, but he's got an engine like a 454 Chevrolet. He just keeps on going.
Matt said it was more like Rudy, but I think Rudy had about 3 inches of height on him and about 60 pounds.
There you go.
And of course,
played for the Fighting Irish.
a member of the 2015 Western Reserve Scourge.
There
It always
we
comes
go.
back to that, see, and it's all right. It's a lot of tentacles out there in the PAFL. Of course, today's game also being broadcast on Western Reserve Radio 2 and Sports Radio 1240 here locally in Youngstown. I want to thank Bill Kelly, Charlie Conley, Ben Slagle. Ben Slagle and Dave Ferris always work together to conjure something up. Quick pass by Thompson, out in the flat. It's going to be picked up by Tyree Thompson off the tip, and he'll take it to the outside.
Still going.
And Tyree Knight fighting his way for a gain. I believe they're going to give him a credit for 5, so 2nd and 5 now for Cleveland with 9:40 left here in the game, and time becoming a little bit more of an issue for the Youngstown Patricians.
Yeah, you have to sustain a long drive right now, and we'll be good.
So Morris Dillard getting to the line. He leads the offensive line for Cleveland. D'Angelo Thompson will be to the outside. Tyree Knight, the slot to the right of Thompson. Twin receivers to the far side. That'll be Wise and C.J. Hale. C.J. Hale getting a couple starts at quarterback this year as well. Thompson with the handoff and a little bit of room and some contact after Robinson picked up a couple of yards. I think that was going to be George Freeman Jr. on the contact.
Number 42, Deshaun Robinson on the carry.
Haven't been able to be sure or not, but I was hoping that Braden and family will be here today. If they are here today, they are seeing some great football here in mid-July, part of the PAFL season. Week 6, 7 and 8 coming up. Here's they'll take on the Rams and a rematch with the Patricians in Lakewood. Coming up here to round out the regular season. Thompson in the shotgun, Robinson to his right. And they're going to get, and Thompson's going to get him again. And this time, there's just an admission, it was me, I did it.
I did it. Well, we know that because you were standing in the backfield saying, we got you.
Darian Owens said, I'm sorry.
Pringle to argue it.
Yeah, Dave Pringle. The attorney, Dave Pringle, will not argue this one. He's going to waive arguments, and he will go with the judge's discretion on this one. All right, so they're going to mark this right on the stripe, right on the 20-yard line. That's going to be a first down for Cleveland. Thompson back to the shotgun. Robinson to his left. 3 receivers to the near side now. That'll be Thompson, Knight, and Wise. Single receiver to the far side. That'll be Hale. Moving left to right here. 7:42 left in the game. Thompson looking out to his right. Fires over the middle. He's got Tyree Knight on the catch to the 30-yard line. Should be enough for a Cobra first down. And got a Patrician slow to get up, but he'll make his way to his feet. And Cleveland will go right back to the line as they try to eat some of this clock up. 7:15 as the clock continues to run. Well, they'll go back to the huddle now. Made them think they were going to go to the line. All right. Defensive coordinator Jamar Fleming having a good time on the sideline.
Well, when you're winning and you're driving the ball, and I mean, they got to be careful. They're only 1 score and an extra point, so.
Yeah, when everything's going your way for the moment.
As you said, the moment.
Tylen Chapman one-on-one with Tyree Knight. Marcus Brown one-on-one with Matt Wise. Thompson in the shotgun. Back to pass. He'll pump fake, throw it over to the flat. It's going to be caught. Cut back in. And all the way inside, just short of the 40-yard line. Trying to get a number on that. That's going to be Robinson again. We're seeing a little bit more of him every week. In the last 2 weeks, he's done really well.
Well, he's producing, and that's why you're seeing him. And, you know, he's doing what he needs to do. God bless.
So Robinson getting some touches here.
Good for him. Worked himself into a good, I want to say starter, but getting it done when they need him.
2nd and 2, manageable second down here now as we have under 6 minutes to play. Thompson in the shotgun. DJ Johnson back in at the running back position. Twin receivers tight to the near side. And he'll give it to Johnson. Johnson trying to put the ball away, and he'll make it out to the 45-yard line. It'll be another Cleveland first down, and that will keep the clock running as Marvin Germany will check in Tyree Knight we'll take a breather.
And that was good. That was a good job. He rode that out. Slap rode it out, gave it to him, and I mean he wiggled his way through those holes, and he was able to get a first down on that. That was actually a great run.
First and 10 from the Cobra 45-yard line. As we approach the 5-minute mark here in North Jackson, Cobras looking for their second consecutive win. Patricians looking to get back into the win column. Wise and Thompson, the twin receivers to the near side, twin receivers to the far side as well. Hard count. Kind of an odd snap. There, fires over the middle.
Oh,
caught by D'Angelo Thompson. He's got a little bit of room to run. He'll break down, and he'll make it down near the 23-yard line, maybe the 25, hard to tell on the angle. And Cleveland in business as they'll have 4:30 to burn off the clock here. Coach, if I guess if we were on the field there, you'd see a lot of the run game coming up.
Oh, yeah, right now I would be running that ball all over. But, again, they seem to have found something in the past, but you got to be careful right now because let me tell you what, 4 minutes, you got plenty of time for them to get down the field, so be very careful. I'm going to continue to gouge them, keep that clock running.
Robinson back in at running back with Thompson in the shotgun. Receivers 2 by 2, under 4 minutes to play now. He'll give it to Robinson again. He'll cut.
There it is.
And work his way down, and it'll be a rugby scrum. He'll fall down, and it should be enough for a Cleveland first down, and the clock will continue to run. 3:40 left here in the game.
Hard to say. It looks like maybe the 7-yard line, something in there. I don't know. Let's see where they mark it.
And you wonder if that front four that has been outstanding is starting kind of to wear down here. That Cobra offensive line really putting the pressure on.
Well, if you look across the field, that defense is spent. They don't know whether the rush they're running the ball and there's a good mixture going on. But right now, you got a 1st and 10 on the 11-yard line. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Approaching 3 minutes here in the game. Thompson in the shotgun. He'll have Robinson to his right again. Wise and D'Angelo Thompson will be the receivers to the right. Knight and Hale to the left. And Robinson
is puking.
Thompson's going to keep the ball. I don't know if he wanted. Robinson had some, he had some liquids come up, and I don't think that they wanted to give him the ball.
No, I don't think so. They got to get him here. They got to get water in him right now, too.
So Robinson will come to the sideline with a little bit of a laugh there. So,
he's dehydrating bad. They got to get water into him right now.
So, but I really think that Slap pulled that ball so he wouldn't get it. Again, it is a hot day here, and
people that are listening, it is absolutely miserable out here. We're up in the booth. We got very little wind, but they have all this equipment on with this high humidity. These guys, they have to be careful. There's already a few guys out of pads because of the heat, and they've really got to be careful. Hydrate.
And we hit the 2-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. We'll take a timeout. You are listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One Network, and now part of the iMedia One Network app for iPhone and Android. We'll be back right after this.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Youngstown, Warren, and Salem Sports Talk is on the iMedia One Network, Youngstown, Ohio.
Two minutes left here in North Jackson. Cleveland with a 17-9 lead over the Youngstown Patricians. And it looks like, Coach, the ball, where we marked that here? Inside, we'll call it the 5-yard line.
They're saying on the scoreboard 7, Jim, because we can't tell. So
they'll call it 5. We'll call it 7. I mean,
well, roll the dice.
Call it what you will. All right. Nonetheless, Hale and Knight, the receivers to the far side. Thompson and Wise to the near side. Cleveland first and goal. Or second and goal. Oh, I'm sorry. They can still get a first down.
Yes, they can.
TJ Johnson in at running back. We'll spell Robinson, who obviously needed to cool down a little bit. Some movement up front there. And Dave Thompson, slap nose. That was a problem. Drake Carr got out of his stance and, to his credit, took a great step, looked good in technique.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he really looked good out there. The only problem was nobody else moved. He was kind of standing where the linebackers were, looking, going, well, where the rest of you guys
If you're coaching a young lineman, though, it was nice to see him come out of his stance, first step. Good job.
I mean, he did. He looked
All
good.
right.
The only thing is you got to get the snap count down.
Good fundamentals there by Drake Carr.
Yeah.
As Cleveland now will work from the 10-yard line. They'll come back out in the same formation. Johnson still at running back. 1:59 showing on the clock. Slap Thompson waiting for the snap. He'll play action. He'll look downfield, direct traffic. Fire into the end zone. Caught! Touchdown Cobras. 1:52 left here in the game. And let me see if we can get a number on that. And that is going to be D'Angelo Thompson on the 10-yard touchdown pass reception with 1:52 left here in the game.
Somebody ran the wrong route because you had two guys running. Unless that's what they did, they layered a little bit, but one should have been a little bit behind the other, but they both looked like they ran out patterns, and I thought he overthrew, and he hits the deeper guys. So, hey, it worked. What do I know?
23-9 is the score as Ben Lyons comes on for the extra point. C.J. Hale to hold as they kick into the woods, where I think we're still recovering some high school freshmen.
Well, they were looking earlier. I think they should swap myself, but, oh, Lord, they're sending Jesse out. That's not good.
All right. So C.J. Hale to hold. Ben Lyons for the extra point. Off the natural surface, the movement up front. Kick is up. And it is good.
Deep in the woods.
1:52 left here in the game. Cleveland takes a 24-9 lead. And the Cobras inching towards that second win in a row in the PAFL. And you know what? I had some conversations with some of the Cobra players this week, and it's, you had a rough start, but you know what? It's when you peak. It's when you really start to hit your stride. And
they have.
In this heat and everything else, I think they've done a great job.
Yeah, I think they're coming down the stretch. They, but here's the thing, Jim. They've always been winners. They've always went into the playoffs, so they know what it takes. So I think that's a positive.
Yeah, certainly inching their way towards that as they look for win number 2 in a row. Now, officially, they are 2-3 in the PAFL because of a forfeit win. They filled that game, but Commissioner Jermaine Campbell has listed that as a win for both teams at that time. So right now, they're sitting at 2-3 in the PAFL. If they can pull this off today, if things continue as they are, they will be 3-3. With 2 weeks left in there, they will take on the Cleveland Rams, which will be a 3A team. And then, of course, we will have the rematch in Lakewood against the Youngstown Patricians coming up in the 2025 season finale. And right now, for Cleveland, you see them hitting their stride, this feeling that it's kind of coming together.
Yeah, they're finally getting the pieces in the right spot. And it took a while. That's all right. Like I said, but again, they got to continue to win. I think for them to really do well in the playoffs, they got to win out.
So Cooper Ryder going to kick this one off for Cleveland with 1:52 left here. And it's going to go to the right side and head out of bounds. We'll get the flag. And Patricians will not get a return, but they will start with good field position. Clock didn't start here, so full 1:52 left. And it shows 2 timeouts left on the board for the Youngstown Patricians. There's a lot you can do with that, but right now you are trailing by 15 points.
Yeah, that's
you're 2 scores down.
Yeah, and an extra point, which, you know.
And interestingly, we all talked in the car on the way up here about the PAFL maybe switching over to some of the new special team rules too, as well, the kickoffs and the field goals in that. So at some point we're going to have to talk to our commissioner here and see what he has to say about that, because traditionally we were always a year behind in the NFL rules. They would come out in May. By that time, the PAFL was always in season. So we're looking at that here, and it'll be something new to learn in terms of coaching.
Yeah.
It will be, special teams coaches will be a little bit different, have to handle things that you really will have to pay attention.
You know what, though? I'd like to see it. So, you know, we'll see what happens.
Well, we voted 2-1 on that on the way here.
Yeah.
Matt doesn't like that.
Yeah, you know.
He likes the traditional kickoff.
Not me. I like what they're doing. It's safer. It forces them to either run back, which usually that's what it is, or keep it out of the end zone. Because during an NFL game, it's like they score, they go to a commercial break, they kick it, go back to a commercial break. Yeah, you're selling stuff, but
who does that?
It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Doggone Craven.
So messages coming up here from the field, as we'll have a 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line for the Youngstown Patricians.
Well,
McElroy in the shotgun. He's going to have Graham to his right. Eaton doesn't know where he's going. He's trying to figure it out. They keep telling him to go different places, but he'll be the slot on the right side now. McElroy rolling out to the far side on the option. He's going to keep it himself, have some room to run and be brought down just past the 45-yard line. And they're going to go right back to the line. McElroy doing a great job there on the read. Up-tempo offense for the Patricians. They'll go right back to the same formation. Graham to the right of McElroy. McElroy back to pass, stepping up in the pocket, sidearms it, and it's going to be dropped. Intended for Graham, but he dropped it to the flats. And really, Coach, I don't think that's a bad thing. Robert Littlejohn was there. He wasn't going to go anywhere, but the clock stops with 1:19 left.
Yeah, he wouldn't have gone anywhere.
So that's probably a best result of that play for him.
I mean, worst scenario, he would have been, if he did catch it.
So 3rd and about 3. McElroy moving Graham from his left side to his right side. Federer off the edge. Looks like he has a little room to pursue there. And under pressure is McElroy. He'll slip one tackle. They're going to pass over it. It's going to be caught near the 45-yard line on the Cleveland side. That's going to be a 1st down for the Patricians with just about 1:05 left here.
Yeah, but they're running that clock.
And the Patricians going right back to the line. Already got the whistle for play. Clock's running now. Under a minute to play here in Youngstown. Patricians trail by a score of 24-9.
Spending a lot of time getting players out here. You're at 45, 44.
Yep, McCullough now coming in. He'll be the outside receiver to our side. McElroy back to pass. Under pressure again. And it's going to be Slater knocked out of the way. And it's going to be again, 3rd sack of the day. Robert Littlejohn wraps him up. And that's just going to about do it here with 20 seconds left in the game. One timeout left for the Patricians, and I don't know if they're going to take it.
No, that's it.
And that is going to be it. The Cobras are going to get their 2nd win in a row. They're going to improve to 3-3. On the 2025 PAFL season, and the clock's going to stop with 2 seconds, and I don't know why. As Mike Hearn used to say, why are the officials still officiating?
Should have just let it go. You're down 2 scores.
I don't know, maybe they're trying to cover the spread down in Vegas. I'm not sure. And again, great to see some of these guys here. Isaac Coker, Dave Pringle, Jim Moody.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that's good. And then, of course, we all know David Height, has been an official for about 4,000 years.
I believe he officiated the first football game, between the Natives and the Pilgrims. Been here forever.
He's a good guy. I worked with his wife, and David's always been a very good official.
And we'll see if we can cover the spread here. Maybe that's what we're doing.
I'm rushing 2 and putting the rest as defense.
Yeah, that's probably about it, too. As McElroy limping back onto the field. Again, a useless play here.
Yeah, this could be dumb here. Let's just not lose our heads, too.
And there's a young man who's played really hard today, Corey McElroy. As he's obviously walking gingerly. Back to pass as McElroy looking downfield. He's going to gun it. And it's going to be the end of the game here. And Sinclair has got the ball. Nico Sinclair is going near midfield, and he's going to be upended by Landon Bates, and that will bring us to the end of the game. Your final, Cleveland gets a 24-9 win over the Youngstown Patricians. Not only do the Cobras go on the road, they come down here and play fairly well. Again, things coming together, Coach, here as the season goes on. We talk about when you peak, playoffs coming up in just a few weeks.
Absolutely. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with at the end of the season if they make it and do what they got to do.
We'll step aside for a quick break. We come back, give you a scoring recap, and we will wrap it up from North Jackson. You are listening to the PAFL here on Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One Network. We're back after this. Catch all of the spring and summer action of Cleveland Cobras minor league football on Western Reserve Radio. Follow the Cobras as they compete against teams from around the region in pursuit of a Tri-Point Football League championship. And if you're looking to continue your football career after high school, college, or even the pros, or to be part of the Cobras staff, go to clevelandcobrasfootball.com, Facebook at Cleveland Cobras Football, or contact owner Jesse Caldwell at 330-416-3442. Be a part of the excitement of Cleveland Cobras football.
So, are you enjoying our station? Well, now you can take us along on your mobile device wherever you go.
Wow!
The free Live 365 app is available for both Apple and Android devices.
That sounds like fun. I'll give it a try.
Just go to the Apple app or Google Play Store and download it today.
You're listening to WRDB, Western Reserve Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, Warren, Salem, and around the world.
Someone's got to set the tone out there, boys. Someone's got to set it.
The station that sets the tone for Youngstown Phantoms hockey is Western Reserve Radio. WRDB, The Scourge.
Post-game here in North Jackson as we wrap up Week 6 of the PAFL season. Cobras get the 24-9 win over the Youngstown Patricians. Take a look at the scoring recap. How did we get here? First quarter action, 6:57 left. It would be Corey McElroy getting into the end zone on a 6-yard touchdown run. That would be on the first drive of the game for the Youngstown Patricians. Cleveland would then get the ball, and after falling back behind the chains, it would be Dave Slap Thompson on the pass to Matt Wise. He'll go 80 yards for the touchdown. It would give the Cobras the 7-6 lead. Second quarter action, Ben Lyons would come in and add a 36-yard field goal, giving the Cobras the 10-6 lead. And at the buzzer, it would be Dave Harbaugh hitting a 32-yard field goal that would cut the lead for Cleveland to 10-9 going into the locker room. Third quarter action with 39 seconds left. It will be Dave Slap Thompson hitting Deontay McDonald on a 65-yard touchdown pass. That will give the Cobras the 17-9 lead. And with 1:52 left in the game, the Cobras would seal it up as D'Angelo Thompson will take in a 10-yard touchdown pass from Dave Thompson to make it 24-9 in favor of the Cleveland Cobras. Cobras win their second game in a row as they will head back home to take on the Cleveland Rams and then wrap up the season in Week 8 in Lakewood against this very same Youngstown Patricians team. And first and foremost, got to say a lot of good things about the Patricians here. Corey McElroy, very good player. The skill players doing a great job. It was a battle back and forth here, but Cleveland today more physical, and they seem to outlast Youngstown in this heat.
Well, that is true, but I want to tell you something. Youngstown, they got some great players, and being their first year as the Patricians, they did an outstanding job. And I'll tell you what, it's a good football team. In the next, if they hang together in the next couple of years, I'll tell you what, you can see a ring on their finger, because that's a good football team. A lot of young guys, and that's what you want.
Yeah, good foundation being built for the Youngstown Patricians. For the Cleveland Cobras, again, they have improved over the last 2 weeks. We've seen a lot in the run game, which really has opened up the pass game. Defensively, they've always been tough, but all these things are meeting up now, especially special teams now. Ben Lyons was on the field today. Jeff Cooper Ryder, you've got a punter specialist, you've got a field goal specialist, and that really kind of helps, and especially when you get into these close games come playoffs, those are really some people you can count on.
Oh, absolutely. These things, when you put those pieces together, we talk about the kickers and the punters, but how about the long snappers too? You have to be able to have a good long snapper where that ball is going to come back in a hurry. It's not going to dribble back. So all of these things they have really put together. So outstanding job by the Cobras. They just got to keep it going, baby.
Cobras come in a little bit short-handed today. We saw players maybe a little bit out of position, but something that you would need to see, especially if you're going to be on the road, in the playoffs. And they adjusted very well. Coach Adam Rogerson, Jamar Fleming, defensive coordinator, and of course, Shane Glover doing a good job putting these people in position. And again, kind of things have come together here a little bit. They don't have that frustrated, that sense of frustration about them coming late into these games here, and that really is kind of sealing this up for the Cobras.
Being in the league for as long as they have and all that stuff, you would think that they're going to get their stuff together right from the beginning, but sometimes it takes these guys and like newer players too, to get into the rhythm, and then once they get into game, maybe 2-3, they've picked it up. And this is what happened to them. They seem to have picked it up really good and putting it all together now. They look like a team playing both offensively and defensively as well as special teams.
Yep, things coming together here. Yeah. And of course, we will be back in Lakewood next week as the Cobras will take on the very tough Cleveland Rams, crosstown rival of the Cleveland Cobras. That will be a 6:45 airtime, 7 o'clock kickoff. And again, we will round out the season in Lakewood week 8 as the Cobras and the Patricians will get together one more time for the season finale. So for the Coach Bob Gessler, for Matt Craven, I'm Jim Craven. Thanks for joining us here on Western Reserve Radio on the iMedia One Network. Your score one last time, Cleveland Cobras 24, the Youngstown Patricians 9. And we will see you all back here 6:45 next Saturday. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Have a great day, people.
We thank you for joining us for this special presentation of Western Reserve Radio. And we now return to our regularly scheduled programming.